Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, unfortunately for me and for you, it's another Penelope Douglas. Listen to those tranquil rainfall sounds. Can you hear that outside? That's my neighbour screaming because he left the washing out of the line. It's raining. Speaking of tranquil, lovely ASMR sounds, I have indeed started an ASMR channel. Rants for you to fall asleep to. So if you'd like to listen to these dulcet tones, because I know you guys do, make sure you check out my ASMR Sleeps channel. Now, yeah, today's video is another Penelope Douglas one. Kind of sick of it. Like, no one's forcing me to do this content, but here I am, you know, month after month, putting myself through it. So make sure that you do like, comment, subscribe before we get into the video. Oh, it's raining quite a lot, actually. Is this nice or what? Let me listen back. It's a torrential downpour. Can you hear that? What is going on? Climate change. That's what's going on. Wow. Well, look, come rain or shine, I'm like a postman. I'm like Sam from Death Stranding. I have to do these videos. Now, here's the thing as well. I know, like, a lot of you don't mind that it's audio only. I know some of you miss my beautiful face. Thing is, right, so we rearranged the office and then I wanted to, so my filming space is in a different location. I don't know who cares about this, but I'm just going to yap. And I wanted to kind of decorate a little bit, but it's a rented accommodation, so I'm not going to be like banging holes into the wall. And we're going to be moving, hopefully I didn't jinx it. Hopefully we're going to be moving again anyway. And then at least in the next place, I will be able to have a little bit more leeway with how I decorate things. So I'm just wondering, I'm just going to play it by ear, all right? Because I filmed one of my adverts recently in my new corner, and I don't like it. It just doesn't look right to me. It looks annoying, and it looks a bit shit. But there's only so much that I can actually do. So I don't know whether to keep just doing, because I got a lot of video essays planned as well, because I want to do some more video essays rather than doing long book content all the time. I'm not really sure. Anyway, doesn't matter. Shall we just get on with the video? Like, comment, subscribe. Remember to follow me on all my other socials. Check out my Sleeps ASMR channel. Hopefully the new video on there should be out by the time this is out. If not, it will be out as soon as possible. Let's get into it. This Penelope Douglas book is called Birthday Girl. Let me tell you, the title alone made me groan. This review is coming at you with the same amount of effort Penelope puts into the plot and characterization. By the way, it is currently hotter in the UK than whatever godforsaken pairing this book will have. Let's just get on with it. Brilliant. Another spam email from a site I don't remember visiting and definitely didn't give permission to sell my soul. Love that for me. Turns out my personal data has been scattered across the internet like glitter at a toddler's birthday party. Enter Incogni, a data removal service by the people behind Surfshark. It identifies which shady companies are holding your personal information and gets them to delete it for you. I signed up, and within weeks, less spam, fewer scammy calls, and no more ads for a haunted Victorian doll I googled at 2 a.m. once. It's like a digital pest control. And now, Incogni also offers custom data removal, letting you target specific types of data or companies you really don't want holding your info. You can take personal data back with Incogni without doing any of the tedious admin nonsense yourself. Use the code Alizee, that's ALIZE 1E, at the link below and get 60% off an annual plan. Incogni.com/Alizee. That's basically nothing to not be stalked by the entire internet. Try it. Or don't. But if you keep getting texts from Mr. Crypto Investment Opportunity Daddy, that's on you. Please visit pendouglas.com/books/standalones/birthday girl for advice on trigger warnings. Imagine having to put a trigger warning in your book. I fear I just turned into a boomer then. Look, do I mind it as a concept? I'm not sure. I'm not thinking too hard about it. The way I do these reviews is deliberately so the author cannot win either way with me. Okay, so don't take it personally if I say something that might come across a bit boomery. There is a playlist for this book as well. Should we go through the songs? I've decided when I finally do my Coho parody, I am also going to do a Penelope Douglas parody because I understand these books. Dare I say the themes? Dare I say the thematic structure? I don't even know if that's a word. I understand these books. So I feel like I can take the piss. And when I'm going to do a playlist for my versions, and it's going to be just full of songs that are literally about, you know, the singers, you know, those songs where it's like 40-year-old singers talking about like 16-year-old girls. That's going to be fun. Hey, let's go through the playlist. Addicted to Love. All She Wants to Do Is Dance. Bad Medicine. The Distance. Girl Gets Around. Glory Days. Guys My Age. Hurts So Good. I Love Rock and Roll. I'm on Fire. Jesse's Girl. Pity Party. Poison. Pour Some Sugar on Me. Stunning pivot from Penelope using songs from before 2003. Not that songs should be part of books, but here we are. And I'll pour some sugar on you as long as it's scalding caramel. But I know it's very popular to do this whole playlist, especially in romance books. I just think it's a bit of a cheap ploy because your stories clearly can't stand by themselves. Again, can't win with me. If there was like, if Stephen King turned around and did like a playlist full of his stories, I'd be like, it's fine. When You Grow Up, Your Heart Dies. Alison Reynolds. Birthday. Nope. Not the Birthday Club. The Breakfast Club. Screw You. Anchorman. Chapter 1. Jordan. Yep, it's one of those dual POV again. Jordan is waiting for her boyfriend, who is ignoring her calls. I'm sure he has a good reason, probably terrified his partner is a soulless void that occasionally does something quirky. Unease pricks at the back of my neck. By the way, guys, huge news for the unemployed, aka my audience. I'm joking. I am literally the final boss of unemployment. I am going to start my philosophy degree this year. In yet another series of choices I'm making to never get a real job. And speaking of never getting a real job, I have signed up for voice acting classes. I've done it. I've finally done it. I've actually done something I've been threatening to do for the past 3 years. Are you guys proud of me? Granted, I've not actually done any of them yet, so maybe like hold off your pride for a little bit. But I just thought you all ought to know. So if magically my narrative voice somehow gets better in the next 6 months, you'll all know why. If he's not answering, then he's either asleep or out. Both could mean he'll remember me after it's too late. He's not always unreliable, but this won't be the first time either. That's the problem of making your friend your boyfriend, I guess. He still thinks he can get away with murder. I mean, if my friends arranged to pick me up from somewhere, they wouldn't flake on me, so... Okay, I glance over at my boss, her black hair with blonde chunks piled around the top of her head and a string of tiny hearts tattooed around her upper arm. What do the tattoos mean? We never find out. Fed up of waiting for boyfriend Cole, Jordan goes to watch The Evil Dead instead. And I was already not paying attention at this point. She's off work 2 hours early and tries to contact her boyfriend to get picked up early, but he's not responding. There we go. Glad I caught that. Besides, my sister is at work and no one here can leave to drive me home. Work is slow tonight and I got cut early because I'm the only one without a child to support, even though I desperately need the money just the same. I grip the strap of the bag over my chest, feeling like I should be older than 18. Well, 19 now, I think, almost forgetting what today is. Yeah, you sound so much older and more mature than 19, babe. With dynamite musings like this, it's amazing people dodge your calls. And I can't blame Cole either. It was my decision to use what was left of my... not being funny. I've not got children. Not interested. But like, I wouldn't be like, I need the money just the same if like someone else has like 2 babies to feed. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why she's coming across as immature and self-absorbed. Obviously, she's got to eat. But if 2 babies need to eat as well, you can deal with... Does that mean? You can deal with it. Babies can't. God, I'm just so thoughtful. I'm so selfless. I would let babies eat before I did. How? Without even having... I don't even magically need to have kids to have empathy for little children who can't fend for themselves. Honestly. Anyway. Like, these characters... I know I'm going way too deep in this already. I'm going off script. But these characters... These are the same people... These characters, I mean, they're so self-absorbed that, like, if the shoe was on the other foot and they were the one who had 2 kids to feed, they would expect the teenager with no children to not get as many shifts. They'd be like, what about me and my kids? You know what I mean? Like, these people are also fucking self-absorbed. They can't see past their own noses, and it winds me up to no end. Like, it's not hard having empathy. Granted, I turn mine on off like a light switch because I'm a bit sociopathic like that. But it's not hard to have empathy. It's not something that you have to like learn at the age of like, 32, like iDubbbz did. Why am I roasting iDubbbz? It's because he's lame. All of them are lame. Everyone on YouTube except for me and like the 3 people I like. Rachel, Evangelia Skov, and Kadikarus. And I can't blame Cole either. It was my decision to use what was left of my student loan money to help him fix his car. He'd been there for me too. At one time, we were all the other one had. Aha. Believe me, I was not even bothering saying sentences in my script anymore because I can't be bothered. It's just boring, mundane problems. We were all the other had. Like that, by the way, this little tragic trauma porn backstory they've got going on is barely relevant. It's like just a side car bar note. It's a whole bunch of nothing. I hate looking helpless. You and every other FMC in all of these novels. Her boss says don't go out late and sex slavers are looking for hot teenage girls with blonde hair. Yikes. At least her boss gives her birthday donuts and wine. I pick up the pace, excited to disappear into the dark theatre for a while. Normally I don't go alone. But when they're showing an older 80s flick like Evil Dead, I have to. Cole is all about special effects and doesn't trust films made before 1995. I smile, thinking about his quirks. What a dork. Being a boring nonce isn't a quirk, and liking universally acclaimed films doesn't make you niche. If Penelope wasn't such a coward, they would try to make a relatable FMC who watches racist snuff films weekly. Your move, Penelope. Also, have you guys seen the OG Evil Dead? It's so funny. It's so slapstick. Like these are the kind of like slasher gory films, yeah, well, like back in the day, that like your parents would watch and they would shit themselves. I remember my mum telling me about how she went to watch Carrie when it first came out, and like everyone threw their handbags in the air and everyone was like, you know, people, not this dramatic, but people were just like fainting and throwing up in the aisles, right? And then you watch them now, and because we're desensitized, they are so camp. Like The Evil Dead is such a campy film. I can't take it seriously. It's funny. It's so like schlocky. And yeah, our boomer parents, the same people who called us snowflakes, would be like shitting themselves and throwing up at The Evil Dead, Carrie, whatever. It's just ironic to me, that's all. So she goes to the cinema. Sorry, I'm on one today. I think it's because I've just eaten a latte. So it's all gone to my head. I'm on one today. I need to rant. Setting the box down, I slip my phone out of my back pocket just in case Cole calls and plop it on the tray next to the wine. But instead, it spills off the tray. It falls down between my legs and onto the floor, and I jerk my knees to try to catch it, but they bump the tray and send the open box of wine spilling to the floor. My mouth falls open. I gasp, shit. I blurt out in a whisper, how cute. She's clumsy. So she loses her phone, and a man tries to help her find it and invites her to sit with him, and then her ex walks in. What an unbearably small town this must be. You okay? The guy with the phone light asks when I don't move. I promise I'm not making a pass at you. You're too old for me. I shoot him a look, forgetting about Jay and the girl for a moment. Too old for him? What? I take in his more than 6 feet of height, the outline of muscles visible through his t-shirt, and his corded right forearm with a full sleeve of tattoos disappearing up his shirt. What is it with Penelope and tattoos? I'm guessing Penelope's dad had a ton of them. Also, the dude was kidding. I'm pretty sure I know who this guy's going to turn out to be. He pinches his eyebrows. Penelope, you do know you can just write frown. Yeah. Pinches his eyebrows, I think turns up about 20 times in this book. Not even kidding. They discuss 80s movies and she's nervous talking to him and keeps joking he's a serial killer. Well, also she studies landscape design and he's a construction worker, so I guess it's just meant to be. He turns hazel eyes on me, warm and piercing, but then his... Wait, I'm already bored, so I need to talk about myself for a bit. Has anyone watched Squid Game Season 3? I won't give anything away. All I can say is it was never going to match up to my expectations. It was a poison chalice for me because none of them were going to end up kissing. So I can't judge it fairly because I am not a fair human being. Anyway, shall we continue? He turns hazel eyes on me, warm and piercing, but then his gaze drops to my mouth for a split moment and a flutter hits my stomach. He quickly looks away and I drop my eyes, having a hard time catching my breath. Then she shares her birthday donuts with him. He picks up the plain glazed, and I'm not sure if he's the no frills type or he's just trying to save the special sprinkle ones for me. But either way, I kind of like it. Well, I find all this glazed donut symbolism filthy. Then she keeps eyeing him up. I take another nibble of my donut, my gaze darting to the side again, taking in his arms and the various tattoos. Black gears and bolts, like a robot skeleton, some tribal work that definitely says he was a 90s kid, and I can just make out what I think is a pocket watch that looks like it's trying to break free of his skin. It's like a hodgepodge without any discernible theme, but it's beautiful work. I wonder what the story is behind them. Something utterly trite, I'd wager. Maybe he's a bland guy who gets sad sometimes. Better mould your entire life around him. I take another bite, the pink glaze and rainbow sprinkles sending electric shocks to the back of my jaw. Why? Bit much, isn't it? And making me crave the whole damn thing in my mouth at once. Is this euphemism? You know, I really kind of want abs, I say, chewing, but these are really good. I bet she has abs anyway. He breaks into a laugh, looking at me and chuckling. What? Nothing. You're just... He looks away as if searching for words. You're just kind of, like, interesting or something. I hate modern day romance. It comes up later on in my script, but I have to get out of the way now. I've decided that I fucking hate modern day romance. I do not respect it as a genre. I do not respect the writers. I just don't. It's so banal and uninteresting. And again, I'm going to have this exact same rant later on, but let me just get it out of my system already. Like, the piece of paper is blank. Your Word document is blank. You can write anything that you can think of, anything, and these authors choose time and time again to just write the same shit repackaged. It's so... I think the best romances are the ones that aren't just solely one genre. Like 11/22/63 by Stephen King. It's sci-fi, but then there's a backdrop of romance, and actually really it is a romance story, and I think it's one of the best works he's ever done, and I've read basically almost all of his works, you know, so I can make an informed, but I think that's one of the best. It's a fantastic romance. And I'm not talking about romance authors like you know, Pride and Prejudice, or I never finished Wuthering Heights, doesn't count. I'm not talking about those, like, they're fine. They're classics, they're fine. It's okay, I'm not starting on them. But these types of romance authors, and you can call it dark romance, it's not, it's dark erotica, let's be real. But like the Coho just rewrites basically the same book all of the fucking time. Penelope Douglas, I've read like, what, 5 of these now? They are basically the same book. You can do anything you want, and this is what you do. And even the rom-com books that I've read and reviewed on here, again, all basically the same. I am so spiteful about this now that I've decided I'm going to write a epic love story to the back of a... as a backdrop to a story about the nuclear apocalypse. And I promise you it's going to be 100 times better than this. It might take me several years to write because I've decided it's going to be like 1,000 pages. It's going to be as long as The Stand by Stephen King. But my God, I endeavour it will be better than this. Otherwise, I will literally eat my laptop. I don't know why I got so annoyed about this dialogue, but it's just so... You're just kind of like interesting or something. Like, shut up. Say something interesting, all of you. Should we just get on with it? I'm sorry to crash out so quickly into this. I'm sick of them. Again, no one's holding a gun to my head. No one's forcing me to do these things. I don't mind doing The House of Night compared to these books. I like The House of Night. I love how ludicrous it is, how just stupid, how outrageously offensive was clearly trying not to be, like, it's clearly trying to be inclusive, but it just goes about it the stupidest way possible. It's fun. It's funny. It's just so unserious. But I've basically stopped doing Coho because I think I've done like 12 Coho books, and that's way too many. And they are all the same. So I don't really need to cover Coho anymore. And I don't want it to verge on being mean for the sake of it either. Even though it probably has gone way past that limit already. Like 12 books in and I'm book reviews and I'm going to get a conscience. Ridiculous. But these Penelope books, they irritate me in a completely different way to Coho. Because they're all completely the same. Pseudo incest, guy with tattoos, people being annoying. But audiences love this. They lap this shit up. So clearly I'm in the wrong. Clearly I'm the idiot. Clearly I'm the Socrates trying to corrupt the youth of Athens reading this shit. You know what I mean? Just pass me the hemlock already. Anyway, I know, huge of me, absolutely huge of me to compare myself to Socrates. I'm Diogenes, like, sitting in my fucking ceramic jar, pissing on myself at this point. because no one's forcing me to do this stuff. He shakes his head. I'm sorry, I don't know what I mean. And then he blurts out, cute, as if just remembering. You're cute, I mean. He's like, how old are you, 24? And she's like 19, and he sighs and then gives her advice that no one asked for. Time passes you like a bullet, he says, and fear gives you the excuses you're craving to not do the things you know you should. Don't doubt yourself. Don't second guess. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't be lazy. And don't base your decisions on how happy it will make others. Just go for it, okay? Oh, is someone having a midlife crisis? Cheers, mate. But nobody actually asked you to give a tirade through dog shit tear song lyrics. This makes him her new hero, and then he puts a match in a donut for her to blow out in a movie theatre. They watch the movie, and it's comfortable or nice or whatnot, and he lets her know he's going to be here watching Poltergeist in a few weeks, so she fantasizes about being single because he's hot, interesting, and employed. And thanks for keeping me company, I tell him. I hope I didn't ruin the movie for you. He gazes at me for a moment, his breathing growing heavier as a torn look crosses his face. Finally, he shakes his head, averting his eyes. Not at all, he says. Another book where a grown 39-year-old man mopes over a teenager, eh? It's hard for me at this point to relate to her and her desires without knowing more about her underwear, cup size, and probably petite figure. Then Cole rings, but the line is dead and movie theatre man is like, Cole Lawson? And she's like, yeah, you know my boyfriend? And he goes, I'm Pike Lawson, Cole's dad. But even more egregious, what the hell kind of name is Pike? Anyway, look, whatever. Just ask for them both for your birthday and then make this book more of a pamphlet. We all know what the audience wants anyway. Then Cole rings Pike, so Pike is like, need a lift to the police station. Cole sounds like a loser. Hook up with the dad. I don't care anymore. Chapter 2, Jordan. My boyfriend brandishes that quirky tilt to his lips where you only see the left side of his teeth. What does that mean? They are both moving in with Pike. We literally just read this book. It was called Credence. Penelope, what is your problem? I'll make every effort to be gone as soon as possible, but Cole doesn't save money. Setting up a new place with a deposit, which we lost at the previous apartment due to minor damages to the carpets, and utilities will take substantial cash. Once we get a place, Cole can help pay for it, but actually getting in there and setting up will be on me. Dude, your boyfriend sucks. Just leave him and date his obviously predatory and pathetic dad. And set Cole a bedtime so he actually gets to work on time. Once we got Cole out, I came home to find our apartment completely trashed. Apparently he was trying to throw me a late birthday party at our place, but his friends, didn't wait to start the festivities. By 11, everyone was drunk. The pizza was gone, but hey, they saved me a piece of cake. I had to go into the bathroom so I wouldn't cry in front of them when I saw the place. Why haven't you dumped him yet? At this point, it's on you. A fight had broken out at the party, so the landlord kicked Cole out, and Jordan couldn't afford to stay by herself. Cole's dad already had one of the spare rooms furnished. But me staying here too, with him paying all the bills, it's not right. Well, I don't think it's right for me to have to go without this every day, he teases with a cocky grin. This is Cole, by the way, not the dad, as he pulls me to him and wraps his arms around my body. I release the lamp and smile, indulging in his playfulness, even though I'm feeling out of sorts. It's been a long time since I've been at ease long enough to forget the stress hitting us every term. We haven't smiled together in a while, and it's starting to not come naturally anymore. Oh my god, you're 19, dump him, be free. Although at 19, she only has a year or two before she's too old to bear a litter. I mean children. They both have a scar from a Nerf gun. I'm sure this will be absolutely saturated and dripping with importance later on. Cole isn't a loser. He's 19, impulsive, angry, and confused. But unlike me, he never had to grow up. There's always someone taking care of him. Ugh. Do you think your dad will mind if I use the kitchen? I call, following him out the room. I got stuff to make burgers. He keeps walking, but I hear his breathy laugh. I can't imagine any guy, even my dad, is going to say a woman can't use his kitchen to make him a meal. Babe. Ha ha ha, women and motorbikes and spitting in public. Am I right, lads? His father is doing a lot for us, though, and cooking a few nights a week is part of the arrangement. Another novel of a girl cooking for men. Is this just a rinse and repeat of Credence? Kinda. And so I thought he was cute. So what? I think Chris Hemsworth is cute. And Ryan Gosling, Tom Hardy, Henry Cavill, Jason Momoa, the Winchester brothers. Holy shit! Basic bitch alert. Is this your first day being on Earth? How boring. How cliche. How, I don't know, cookie cutter. Then again, Penelope has never written an FMC with any standout personality, so why start now? Plus, biannual reminder, Jason Momoa is allegedly a horrible person. Who says that? All of my friends who work in film. So you heard it here first, folks, if something comes out in a few years' time. Anyway, moving on before I'm sued. Allegedly, this is hearsay, legally. She insists she's not thinking sexually about him, though. No one asked. Hi, babe. I'm not having sexual thoughts about your father. Okay. The only thing this kitchen needs that will make me go from an impressed nod to fanning myself in heat would be some backsplash. Backsplash is hot. Huh? My mistake. Her character is unflavoured yogurt. Jordan's sister comes around to chat. The fact that she's guarding her tone says she's probably having thoughts I don't want to hear. Like, why the hell am I not just taking the higher paying job her boss offered me last fall so I can stay in my apartment? I'm sure this will be explained. It is, and it's kind of boring. Anyway, Jordan's mum didn't stick around, and I don't know anything about their dad yet, so I'm guessing this somehow makes her older than her years and thus okay to date Cole's dad later on. She's just so much mature than other girls her age. It's not like a grown man can possibly turn her down. And the sister is a stripper. Oh well. At first she's like, ugh, I can't believe you're cooking for a man. But then Jordan is like, well, we have a swimming pool. So Cam, the sister, is like, oh, that's okay then. You know, cooking for a man? No. Stripping for men? Yes. By the way, I'm going to be hard on the sister because she's a fucking weirdo. You sure all he wants is a little cleaning and cooking, she presses? Men, no matter the age, are all the same. I should know. Men absolutely are all the same in these books, yes. And I can't stay with you. I appreciate the offer, but I can't be on the couch in everyone's way and be able to study with a 4-year-old trying to be a kid in his own house. I have a summer class on Thursdays, so I need some space to work. So because you have one class a week, you can't possibly stay with your sister. Penelope, you aren't even trying, babe. This is about as believable as the neurosurgeon bollocks in Coho. Then her sister gets very pushy at, again, I'm assuming, wanting her sister to be a stripper. And look, if we gave Tana Mojo grief for trying to be an OnlyFans pimp, we have to give this character grief for trying to push her younger sister, teenage sister I might add, into sex work. That's not what I meant, she quickly retorts. You could have stayed in that apartment. You could have afforded it. I open my mouth but shut it again, turning around to slip the burgers into the oven for a few minutes. Not this again. When is she going to give up? I can't, okay? I tell her. I don't want to. I like my job and I don't want to work where you work. Of course you don't. She gives me a bored look. It's beneath you, right? She's being a pimp. She's doing that thing that people say where, you know, the internet has no nuance. You can say, oh, I like bananas. And someone turns around and says, so you hate mangoes. She's basically doing that to her sister. But again, to try to get her to do sex work. So yeah, Cam is a stripper. Her boss offered Jordan a job as a bartender at the strip club. But really, that's a ruse just to try to get her end up dancing on stage. After all, better to strip than cook, I guess. And I'm not doing that. I'm not watching my sister do that every night either. Penelope is a contrarian with all of their return women to being barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen nonsense. So I imagine they thought they were being controversial here, but no. Totally reasonable to not want to be pushed into becoming a stripper and also having to watch your sister strip on stage too. Quite reasonable. Pike is arriving home, so Jordan kicks Cam out. And you better keep me posted, she says. I'm not letting you let some beer-bellied middle-aged pervert who was only too happy to let a hot pair of teenage thighs move into his house start demanding a little extra from his new tenant. What 23-year-old woman, mother even, she has a 4-year-old son, would talk about their own sister this way, their teenage sister? It's so weird. Like, and this comes up. I'm preempting this already by saying like repeatedly the language that she uses about her own sister is so weird and so sexualized. I do kind of wonder, does Penelope Douglas have siblings? If they do have siblings, have they entertained thoughts about, look, don't give me that I can feel you judging me for the screen right now. I'm just asking, because it is a bit weird how much pseudo incest pops up in all these books. And oh, shut up, I'll keep going. She turns around, jabbing me in the stomach playfully and lowering her voice to a deep husky tone. Come on, honey. She's literally fucking proving my point in the next sentence. She squirms up to me, trying to wrap her arms around me seductively. Time to work off your rent, baby. Don't be scared, she continues, pretending she's some creepy old guy as she slobbers up her lips and tries to get a kiss from me. Little girls take care of their daddies. And she mock thrusts into me, jutting out what beer belly she can muster with her 22-inch waist. Stop it, I plead, flaming with embarrassment. She paws me up and down my hips, smiling as I try to shove her out of the kitchen. That is not normal behaviour. I don't care what anyone in the audience said. I have a sister. If my sister acted like this to me or spoke about me the way that Cam repeatedly speaks about Jordan, we would have serious issues. It's so weird. Then Pike appears, watching them. He inhales a deep breath and moves forward, setting his things on the island. All moved in? He asked me, running a hand through his hair. If we immediately get his POV of him talking about getting a boner from watching one sister try to hump the other, I'm going to spit. She introduces Cam and then gets surprised that Pike doesn't ogle her. Cam's a carnival ride. She might be younger than him, but she's certainly a woman, and most men let their eyes linger on her long legs, and the perky and expensive handful she has under that tank top. He doesn't. Penelope, this really is the bare minimum. I'm concerned for you. What men do you have in your life? What men are you allowing around your daughter, might I add? Anyway, yeah, Cam might be a hot stripper, but she's fake and Jordan is younger, so we all know where this goes. So she boots Jordan out and then Pike is all, I don't like onions. What a baby. So you just don't like flavour? I stop at Pike's words and stare down the barbecue sauce drizzled all over my onion ring stacked masterpieces. They're an Instagram post just waiting to happen. If I take off the beautiful golden onions, it'll just be a Pinterest fail. Wow, we get it, Penelope. You use the internet. Good one. Anyway, he tries her onion rings and likes it. House of Night is way more interesting than this crap. Then Cole comes in and is like, hey, I'm eating outside, come join me. And Jordan is like, that's rude, your poor dad. Oh my God, how dull. Cole and Pike don't get on and Cole storms out after a brief conversation, so Jordan stays with Pike. And I was trying to skim through this one. It still ended up being a 90-page bloody script. I saw pictures of Cole in the living room as a baby and as a kid. But other than that, the house doesn't have a lot of his father in it. I know he's a single guy, but there are no coffee table books displaying his interests, no souvenirs from vacations, no pets, no art, no knickknacks, no magazines, no paraphernalia indicating his hobbies like sports, gaming or music. It's a beautiful home, but it's like a showcase home where a family doesn't really live. Oh good, another load of nothing male lead. I smiled to myself. He's doing the dishes. Without being asked, I heave a sigh and rise from my seat. I guess he normally does live alone after all. Who else would do them? Can you raise your standards? While this is thrilling, I wish they would talk about the onion rings more. Anyway, she's thirsting after him because he looks more like Cole's older brother than dad, which, you know, that'll hold up in court, the court of public opinion. She also gets his phone number just in case of an emergency. Ha, yeah, right. My music app must have been up. Can you not just say Spotify? And he accidentally hit something. Shit. George Michael's father figure starts playing and his eyebrows shoot up as the suggestive chorus starts. My mouth goes dry, the lyrics registering. I can hear Penelope cackling as they write this. I'm convinced they are taking the absolute piss with these books. I kind of don't think they actually mean these words. I reckon coho means the word she says. I think Penelope's just taking the piss, mate, and people are lapping it up and they're getting richer by the minute. Anyway, you know, Penelope does have to mirror her plot through song lyrics, because if they did it through high school English classes, every single one would be studying Lolita. They keep staring at each other. Do you have any other kids? I ask. I guess I need to know if there'll be other people coming in or out of the house. But when I look over, I see his jaw tense and his brow furrowed, looking a little too serious. I think Cole would tell you if he had siblings, wouldn't he? Against my will, my spine instantly straightens. His tone is chastising. Of course Cole would tell me if he had siblings. I've known him for long enough. Right, I reply in a rush, shaking my head like I was in a fog, and that's why I asked such a dumb question. Oh good, grown man having a mood swing, my favourite genre. Anyway, she blows out a candle and wishes tomorrow will be a better day. Unlikely. Chapter 3, Pike. Ugh. Pike wakes up at 5:30 and there's something promising already. He's not swearing in every sentence. He's moaning about Cole, and when he was younger, it was different. He was mine. We did things together and talked, and he wanted to be around me. But now, she's got into him. My kid is the only hold anyone could ever have over me, and man, his mother knew how to use that. She pushed him around like a chess piece until he believed everything that came out of her mouth, and that she was a victim in every situation. I was the enemy. She could do no wrong, and I could do no right. Of course, women are the enemy, my other favourite genre. One of my friends has been going on at me a little bit to, and he'll probably listen to this video, to make a course on something called Udemy, about how to be a YouTuber. And I'm like, I just chuck on a camera and say a bunch of, well, not even a camera at this point, I chuck on a microphone and I just say a bunch of shit, and for some reason people like it. And he's like, yeah, but look at these courses, they're not very good, you could do better than this. And it's like, I don't know, like, who would pay for a course from me on, you know, like how to go from nothing to being a YouTuber? Who would care? Who would pay for that? Who would want to pay money to listen to me go, yeah. I mean, I do know a lot about the SEO and like meta tagging and all that kind of crap, because you have to learn that stuff. But would anyone even care or be interested? I doubt it. And obviously I wouldn't do, if I was going to do a course, I'm not doing it for free. Duh. I got bills to pay too. But he's just been going on at me about doing one. I don't know, I'm not a teacher, I'm just literally an idiot. So he thinks about Jordan. I wouldn't have asked her out. She's way too young and I knew she had a boyfriend. But it was hard not to entertain the idea for a little while. She's cool. And then when I found out who she was, I was almost angry. I remember hearing her on that phone call and clenching my teeth so hard my jaw ached as realization hit. I was angry because in that moment I was jealous of my son. I was jealous of any guy who's 19 and gets a chance to be with her. Creepy. Masking his own delusion. She's cool, mature. My son could never appreciate her, please her, like I could. At this point, though, I was kind of like, I mean, he's not sexualizing her. He hasn't mentioned her body at all. Yet. Her flawless skin and pert nose, her gorgeous bottom lip that I think she caught me staring at, the way she tipped her head back, put her feet up, and could just be next to me. Everything felt easy. But the girl of my dreams is off limits. She's Coles and she's 19. There's no way. She's a kid and my brief sordid thoughts will stay hidden in my head. And at this point I was still a bit like, he's still not sexualizing her. That all comes, don't you worry. So let's not get disappointed so quickly. And after all, he is an absolute loser to be considering a 19-year-old girl as the girl of his dreams. Another empty shell of a man waiting for the groundbreaking cowgirl sex of a teen to change his life. Then his ex calls. Lindsay, my ex, laughs softly, the sultry sound of her sexy voice well honed by now. The woman is used to getting what she wants from anyone. Yeah, she turns out to be evil. She's quiet for a moment, and then I hear her smooth voice return to its teasing tone. Oh, you know what I want. And despite the disdain I feel for her now, blood still rushes to my groin, much to my displeasure. We had some fun, after all, back in the day. And my body remembers. Plus, I haven't been laid in a while. But I'm not desperate enough to be used. Not yet, anyway. Still an improvement on Credence. They are exes who occasionally hook up. If I get another woman pregnant, it'll be my wife. And my wife is going to be someone I can't get enough of. Guess who he gets pregnant in the epilogue. Anyway, the ex, spoiler alert, really wants him to come round and give her one, but he refuses. Wow, a man of honour, I see. Spoke too soon. He goes downstairs and Jordan is already up. The narrow slope of her jaw. I've heard that about noses, but whatever. The long lashes, the soft point of her little nose, and my eyes drop before I can stop them, and I take in her flawless, smooth and tanned legs, visible because she's still wearing her sleep shorts. Heat stirs in my stomach, and I turn away, digging in my eyebrows. What? They can't be the same age. My kid is a kid, and she's a kid too, I guess. Pike is all, I need Cole's help today because there's a rainstorm, so I need extra hands at the construction site, but he's too, Cole that is too hungover, so Jordan goes with him instead. The downpour is blurring everything beyond the glass, but I see a flash of orange and a yellow hard hat floating a few yards ahead, and I know some of the guys are already here. Jordan pulls up her hood next to me, but I don't look at her or instruct her on what to do. She can follow my lead if she wants to be here. Rude. He's tucking his rage boner into his belt. I just shake my head. Not now. It's not weird my son's girlfriend wants to pay her way and be helpful, but it is weird that he's not here too. Does he know she took his place helping out this morning? What kind of man is okay with that? I taught him to fulfill his obligations. God damn it. You clearly didn't though. I hear voices and trail around the back, instantly spotting Jordan helping carry window inserts to the trailer. One of the guys making sure they're covered as well. She's smiling. Like crazy. Like eyes gleaming with excitement, and she's about to bounce on the balls of her feet for crying out loud. Is she having fun? She's not like the other teenage girls because she likes doing hard labor at 5:30 a.m. in a storm. Anyway, she gets soaked, of course. I drop my eyes to her shirt, seeing the soaked navy blue tee sticking to her body, tight and molded to every inch of her chest and stomach. A sliver of her hips and tummy peek out just below where the shirt is pasted to her. Her skin is flawless, her curves beautiful. I swallow the lump in my throat and turn away quickly. She definitely has a body I don't remember 19-year-olds having when I was that age, but she is still only 19. And she's Cole's, not mine. Don't check her out again. I am calling the police. This is about the third time so far he's noted her flawless skin. Either Penelope is a hack writer who can't string more than a few variations of sentences together, or this guy is a creep. Anyway, tell me more about how she's 19. You hadn't mentioned that more than a few times before. 19, you say? Does she have breasts, perchance? Expand upon it. They fix stuff up and it's all tense, of course, and they go home. Her raincoat squeaks as she slides her hands underneath her thighs. I hear a soft clicking sound and dart my eyes to the floor where she's gently tapping her chucks together. She licks her lips and I wince. Jesus. Reaching over, I turn on the radio. Anything to distract. Lindsay, the bill for all that fun, came due. I made a kid with a girl I barely knew. Wow, poet. A pathological liar, someone who manipulates like it's a sport. And when I left him with her. Cole never had a chance. Yeah. I took her to court, of course, trying to get custody, but judges back then often saw the mother as the better option, and she knew how to solicit sympathy. She wanted Cole because Cole meant child support, and she certainly got that out of me. Did a man write this? Penelope and Coho both graduated from the same class of self-hatred. Anyway, his car has an old cassette tape deck, and she almost cries over it and all the music. Ugh, she has an old soul in a 19-year-old body. I take it all back. She likes tape decks. It would be rude not to impregnate her. And then she's all, working today made me feel like I was in danger. How fun. I loved it. She's a good kid. I hope Cole doesn't screw it up, because I can already tell this is the kind of girl who would make a good mother and work by your side, building a life instead of draining you dry. Penelope has never met the womb of a teenage girl she hasn't wanted to fill. Anyway, Pike's parents have always wanted more for him. When I started Lawson Construction, my own business, and built my own home, they still always looked at me like they wanted better but knew it was useless to say anything. They'd given up. How about you construct an interesting personality instead of crying about your parents as an adult? He owns his own company, is clearly raking it in. He's fine. He takes her home and then wanks a bit about if Cole is good enough for her. I stand by the front door, hearing the bedroom door close upstairs and knowing she's in the bedroom with him. The house suddenly feels heavy, stuffy and thick, and I can't breathe. Has Penelope ever met a grown man? What grown man would act like this? Be unable to breathe because his son is in a room with his girlfriend. All of Penelope's characters seem to suffer from crippling asthma. Then he sees some dude called Kyle, it's the neighbor, and Pike secretly detests him because he's a serial cheat who kept the house in his divorce whilst his ex-wife and kids live in some apartment. If only Pike knew someone who could build them a house. How about you date the mother instead of the child? Oh, what's the point? How he constantly hires babysitters when his kids are supposed to be spending time with him for the weekend. Who knows? Maybe he tried to get custody and maybe she cheated on him first. You never really know what goes on in someone's house. Look at me and how my kid was raised. After all, who am I to judge? I just still don't like the guy. He thinks his white-collar career and triathlons make him a hero. You flip-flopping, fake, woke-ass bitch. I look over my shoulder and see Dutch walking up the driveway. He has dry clothes on and a beer in his hand. Not unusual. He keeps a cooler in the back of his truck. Why are all of these men constantly drinking beer? Penelope, why are you attracted to decreased grey matter and erectile dysfunction? Dutch, that's one of his workmates, by the way, kinda threateningly says that the crew want to go to Grounders, this bar that Jordan works at, to ogle the fetching eye candy, aka Jordan, the 19-year-old who helped them out all day today without pay, I might add. Nice guy. I wipe my hands with the shop cloth. You got that? Leave the kid alone. He just scoffs, slouching in his seat and laying his head back. The kid, I'm sure, has dealt with a lot of male attention already working at that bar, and I'm sure she wouldn't mind a little extra business tonight. She gets harassed anyway, so what's wrong with me and my buddies adding to that? Men working on a construction site would never make a teenager feel uncomfortable. Cam appears because she's given Jordan a lift. Her eyes light up as she nods her approval. I notice she has two tattoos that is, down her upper arm and a phoenix on the side of her torso, which I can only see because she's wearing almost no clothes, dressed in a black miniskirt and a black tank top cut off just under her breasts. Where is your father? Seriously. She's 23. She can dress how she likes. She tells them she works at the Hook, the strip club, and Dutch then starts choking on his beer. Is he 12? He's a grown married man who clearly has been to a strip club before. Not because he's a bloke, but because he's a bloke in a Penelope Douglas novel. Also, how many adults haven't been to strip clubs? I've been to strip clubs. Whatever. But he's a grown married man is my point. Imagine not being able to hear that someone works at a strip club without potentially choking to death. I'm imagining Dutch as a tank top wearing trucker who splutters and calls the strip club the booby house or something, like a cartoon character. Then Jordan appears. For some reason, the judgment I dealt Cam for her clothes doesn't transfer to Jordan, even though she's a few years younger. Dressed in dark blue jean shorts, low on the hip and high on the thigh. Oh, this is so dumb. They're not cut off but rolled up. Wow, what a slag. I'm joking. And her loose black t-shirt shows off her stomach and hangs off one shoulder. Her hair hangs down her back in big loose curls, and her eyes are rimmed in dark liner and dark eyeshadow, making the midnight blue in her eyes pop like a stream of moonlight on the night sea. What? I wonder if she's wearing her chucks again, but that would mean getting past her legs, and I'm having a hard time doing that. So I keep my gaze averted and continue working on the car. Guilt rips through me. She's Cole's. He kisses her. He holds her. He makes her smile when it's not my place to have any opinions about her, especially territorial ones like where she bartends or how she dresses. This is actually painfully boring and predictable. He sounds almost identical to every other Penelope bloke, except he just doesn't swear as much. Gotta admit though, a stream of moonlight on a night sea is adorable imagery. Now talk about her flawless tits again. Are they like a pair of cresting porpoises? She goes off and he's silently seething about how unsafe that area of town is and how hot she looks and how he's being so daft that even Dutch knows what's up. Chapter 4, Jordan. Jordan is at her bar judging people. This is about someone called April. Not that I begrudge her. What do I know? She's a good customer and she tips well after all. I just can't help but keep an eye on her when Cole is around. I've seen her go after married men, so someone's boyfriend certainly won't faze her. Yeah, she shouldn't do that, but are we ever going to judge the married and taken men for cheating or what? Plus, you were about 10 minutes away from leaving your boyfriend for his own dad, so let's not cast aspersions. She thinks about her mum, who abandoned her, whatever, who cares? Cole arrives with his friends and Jay, Jordan's ex. I try to pretend he's of no consequence anymore, but I think he knows he won. He should be in jail after what he did to me, and he's not, because 2 years ago I was scared and pathetic. I wish someone would hurt him. Take a guess for what trauma porn this is going to end up being. Cole. This is about Cole. I put my hand over his, feeling the small scar in his thumb, and I inhale his scent. He looks fresh and good looking, a lot better than he did this morning. No one can shake off a hangover like him. He's 19. He's 19. Granted, I've not had a hangover in 6 years. Congratulations, me, on my abstinence. But still, he's 19. Big whoop. Oh, God. Here's, like blue, not like blue, please. So like Art Attack, here's a rant that I prepared earlier. Do you know what I am sick of? These romance books. They are all exactly the same. Birthday Girl might as well be Credence, which might as well be Bully. All of Coho's books are basically the same. Ryle is as abusive as every other MMC she has. Haley, no offense, but Haley Pham, the booktuber, is releasing a book. I read the blurb. It's pretty cookie cutter. And actually, the thing is a lot of like the people who like this type of modern romance, they want smut scenes. Haley, I've watched a few of her videos. She doesn't like spice, which is, fair enough. She doesn't need to like spice. She doesn't need to write it either. But I feel like modern romance readers want basically just want these books to be pornos, So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But I've read the blurb and it's pretty cookie cutter, not being mean, not trying to be mean. Just, this is one person's opinion. Also, I have my finger on the pulse of everything going on online, and it's not even out yet, and her audience have already spammed Goodreads with loads of 5-star reviews. Why does no one do that for my books? The Prime Minister's Porky Mistress, Piers Morgan's Vegan Lover. I might do a sequel to Piers Morgan's Vegan Lover just to wind up Piers Morgan yet again. I love that that's a part of my lore. I was talking to someone the other day who I've not caught up with like in years, literally since childhood, and I was telling them what I do, and I was like, oh yeah, and then I wrote something about Piers Morgan shagging a vegan sausage roll, and then he reacted to it, and it was a bit weirded out, and this guy was just like, huh, what? I'm like, yeah, it's just normal really, isn't it? Normal standard everyday things. Anyway, romance books. Why do all modern romance authors act as though it's illegal to have an imagination? As I said before, the best romance I've read is 11/22/63. It was a blend of romance and sci-fi by Stephen King. I cannot pretend, I don't think I was doing a very good job anyway, but I can't pretend to respect this genre anymore as in pure like strictly romance, modern day romance, because it's killing me. It's absolutely killing me. And I don't think it's even, oh, you're just like picking the wrong people, because do you know how like big my list is? Like, it's so big. I've no hopes of ever finishing it in my YouTube career, I think. Of every book that I've researched that is a romance or a dark romance and is terrible or people hate it or whatever, so many. So I don't think it's just, I'm just clearly, I'm not saying there probably is some good romance out there. It's not really a genre that I care that much about. I'm going to write a sci-fi anthology. It'll come out in 10 years time. But all of these, they're all kind of just the same. It's killing me. Do these authors realise you can write literally anything you want? So why is it always the same? I have romance fatigue. I'm bored. It's always just like, just talking about like feelings. It's like, who cares? At least, do you know what? At least Twilight had vampires and shape-shifting werewolf people. Why am I consistently, with all of these books, at the point of saying at least Twilight had X, Y, Z? At this point in my career, I'm really sorry to Twilight for ever doing them that dirty in the first place, because clearly I had no idea what I was talking about. I didn't realise it could be this bad. And yeah, Twilight is boring, but I didn't realise it could be this dull, this mundane, this banal, this just such lacking of imagination. Do you know what? I'm going to go there. Yeah, they had sparkly skin. At least Stephanie Meyer used her imagination a little bit. Why do I always have to apologise to Twilight and Stephanie Meyer? What are these authors doing to me? What kills me is these authors sit down and they get excited to write this stuff, and it's just so dull. It's ruining my IQ. Anyway, Cole has work tomorrow after skipping it today from being hungover, so Jordan tries to gentle parent him into being responsible. And you know you're damn lucky to still have your license, right? I jab at him some more. A DUI on his record is the last thing we need, and he tempts fate constantly, especially after everything that's happened. How can he be so careless? Any sympathy I had for Cole, which was none, has evaporated. I hope he crashes into a tree and harms no one else. He's good people. Yeah, all good people famously drink and drive whenever they feel like it. Cole then says, oh, my dad used to cheat on my mum a lot, which is what his mum told him, and that he likes to, as in Pike, he likes to push women around, whatever that means. Jay casts a look back at me as he heads to the door too, putting his arm around Shauna Abbott. His eyes drop down to my chest and then back up again, leering at me with 1 part desire and 3 parts fret. Interchangeable with Caleb, Jared, Maddox, Jax. And the biggest difference is, those other guys somehow are love interests. I assume all of these male characters work together at the loop, which in itself is a metaphor for this inescapable centrifuge of wank. Cam comes to hang out as those blokes leave, and she shows that she made rent in one night because of a bachelor party, and Jordan then feels insecure about her bartending job and how little she makes. After work, she goes home and Cole is still out drinking. Cam gives her a present, Victoria's Secret underwear. It's definitely pretty and sexy, but it's skimpy as hell. Cole would have a field day, coming to bed to find me in this. No foreplay, he'd be on top of me in a second. That is charming. Is she going to be another FMC who likes feeling sexy her way but judges other women for feeling sexy their way? And in the present bag, she finds a flyer for a wet t-shirt contest for $300 being hosted at the strip club. Her sister is trying to pimp her. She tries on new lingerie. I got a stomach ache and my head's hurting. It's these books. I'm so full of hate and anger. Don't yuck someone's yum. I hate that expression. If no one in my audience, please ban that expression from it. It makes me cringe so bad. Don't yuck someone's yum. How about you shut up? I will yuck your yum in a minute. Oh, how do people like this shit? It's literally hurting my stomach. It's so boring. And the worst part is, I'm having like 200% more fun doing this than I was scripting. That's why I'm gonna be switching up this month and just doing mainly video essays on like some topics that I've got in mind, because this is like, it's really stifling my creativity doing this. Why are you doing it then? Oh, because I'm good at it. I'm just good at slagging people off. It's my version of a public service. So she tries on the new lingerie and I can already see where this is headed. I can't help the smile that peeks out. Cam isn't stupid, is she? It's the perfect colour on me, my base tan already in full swing. The panties sit perfectly on my hips, and without so much support in the top, my breasts sit perky and flattering. I run my hands over my smooth, flat stomach and up the curves of my waist, wishing someone was here to appreciate the view and make me smile. Every book Every book I have to hear about teenagers' bodies. Oh, the FBI are going to be knocking on my door. And they don't even work here. Anyway, my GCHQ agent, I am so convinced that I have one, and I'm going to write a story about it one day. I'm so convinced I have a GCHQ agent. I don't know if he's got, I hope he's got a sympathy, as always, I'm such a pick me, so it's always a boy as well. I hope he's got a sympathy stomachache right now. Either that, or he's just like shaking his head like, please stop talking about teenager boobies. I can't, mate. It's part of my job now for some reason. Anyway, so she gets turned on looking at herself and texts Cole, but he's still ignoring her. So she starts jacking off, and it goes on for pages and pages and pages. And she fantasizes about one man watching her striptease and craving her as she actually grinds and dances on her bed. She's about to finish when she hears someone slam into the house. It's Pike outside yapping on a phone, so she spies on him and realizes she was fantasizing about dancing for him. Later on, she calls her dad but has to talk to her stepmom, then gives up, then does homework. Cole is out partying. I think this is a different day, so Pike orders them pizza for dinner, and at first she's reticent, but then she realizes she's always felt alone living with her dad, and maybe Pike feels alone too, so she decides to join him. And if he wasn't such a creep in his POV, I'll admit it, I'd be fine with it at this point, because none of it matters. It's all terrible. They've beaten me. I don't care. Shag his dad. Go for it. There's an episode of House where a teen keeps throwing herself at Dr. House in an overtly sexual way, and he thinks it's weird and diagnoses her with an illness that's causing behavioural issues and then gets her treated. He didn't justify banging her, is what I'm saying. I crave the book where the man is just an adult and turns the teenager down. Chapter 5, Pike. They eat pizza. If you eat the veggies first, she points out, you'll have less room for pizza. Little trick I picked up on Pinterest. Pinterest? You picked that up on Pinter what? You'll eat less pizza then, she continues. Consume less calories and you'll feel better after your meal. Yeah, okay, if I cared about consuming less calories, I guess. She sounds like a little kid who can't conceptualize other people have different metabolic needs depending on their overall fitness level. I wonder why that is. It's not like I hate vegetables. I like corn on the cob and like potatoes and stuff. Those are technically vegetables, right? He sounds like a little kid too. Screw it. They are perfect for each other. All Pike needed was someone literally young enough to be his daughter to feed him vegetables and do non-missionary, and his life is utterly transformed. From, taking the age gap out of it from an ethical standpoint, I already knew at this point that Cole was cheating on Jordan constantly, so I didn't care about Jordan and Pike flirting. Didn't care. Whatever. She was just in high school a year ago. Pfft. So they watch Fight Club together, and she's like, oh, I love watching some people smoke. Subtle. You want a beer? I asked, swinging open the fridge and grabbing 2 out. Anything's changed the subject. Sure. I pop the tops and hand her a Corona, finally meeting her eyes. Her very young, very blue, and very 19-year-old eyes. Shit. I forgot she's underage again. I'm not American. I'm English, so I'm not going to force myself to care about this either. He finds it easy to talk to her, but doesn't talk to anyone else, so he second-guesses himself and makes things awkward, and then he tries to make it unawkward and ends up staring at her ass. Grown man struggles to have conversations with people his own age, more at 10. She may not seem young, but she is. She's a kid. What the hell am I doing? She's also never travelled. Of course she hasn't. It is illegal. God forbid somebody in these books gets a bit of culture. They talk about family issues. There were chances to get married, I say, assuring her. But I guess even in high school, I never wanted to be one of the numbers and do what I was supposed to do, Graduate, get a job, get married, have kids. Die. This is all any Penelope character does, so don't you dare pretend to be different. They set a high standard. It's hard to find that one person who speaks your language. Miraculously, this 19-year-old will be the answer. So they fall into a routine as the days go by. Jordan is usually already up when I come downstairs in the morning, and I notice there's a nicer sheen on the tabletops and countertops that wasn't there the evening before. The floors feel clean, the refrigerator is magically free of bad food and 3-day-old leftovers, and the appliances shine. Anything Cole left lying in the living room the night before, like shoes or soda cans, is suddenly gone. I can't remember the last time I had to unload the dishwasher. You absolute bum. You cannot look after yourself at all without a woman. The bar just doesn't exist for the men in these books. Just drink beer, blame women who deserve it, refuse vegetables like a toddler, and wait for a girl to fix you. He wonders what Jordan sees in Cole, who is also a neglectful bum. One day, when doing laundry, one of Jordan's red thongs gets into his clothes. It's been a hell of a long time since any woman's underwear was on my bed, or in my bed, and it certainly wasn't a G-string either. An image of my son's innocent little girlfriend wearing this flashes in my head, and I round my eyes, rearing back a little. Shit. I'm going to go to jail. Nope, I'm going to go to jail was a Freudian slip. I'm going to go to hell. Interesting, he needs to characterize her as innocent. Then he spies Jordan mowing the grass and gets mad because that's meant to be one of Cole's jobs, but Cole is lazy. But then he gets horny watching her instead. Then she starts dancing, and of course she's beautiful and so cringe. And then he notices Carl, the neighbour, perving on her, pot kettle. And then Jordan jumps in the pool fully dressed. And I can't do these anymore, guys. They're too shit and boring and nothing happens. Why was she fully dressed? What purpose does that serve? Does she do everything like an insufferable indie protagonist? Then he rushes outside to bicker with Jordan about what she's wearing in the privacy of their garden. My neighbour has been glued to his balcony watching your every move out there. I bite out. God knows what he's thinking. That's not my problem, she argues. I was hot. I jumped in the pool. My clothes were on. Yeah, like a second skin, I finish for her, my teeth baring. You can't pull that shit here. It's a family neighbourhood, not your sister's strip club. Calm down. I'm in the backyard, she growls, her face tensing. What does anyone care how I'm dressed? Their wives will. I look down at her, calming my voice. The wives in this neighbourhood don't appreciate cock teasers strutting around and taunting their husbands, okay? I state in plain English so she gets it through her head. But she lets out a bitter laugh like she can't believe I'm for real. Yeah, wow. She nods and takes in a deep breath, lifting her chin and looks at me head on. Okay, here's the thing. I realised things were probably a little different when you were a teenager 89 years ago. She fires back. It was 20, thank you. But nowadays, she keeps going, we don't hold a woman responsible for a man's behaviour. Her eyes pierce and there's a little snarl on her lips. If he wants to look, I can't stop him. If he wants to step off somewhere private and do a little self-loving, hey, I'll never know. Not my problem. That line about men's behaviour is rich. Pike is so cute in the way he tries to control her behaviour and dress and then gets angry at her and loses his temper. I sure hope they end up together. He knows that she's right though. Cole does the yard work, or me. I tell her, moving around her toward the lawnmower. Got it? I don't wait for an answer as I spin round, heading for the lawnmower. But I hear her small, sweet voice behind me. Yes, Daddy. I blink long and hard, my hand tingling with an urge to give someone a spanking for the first time in my life. Penelope, why do I know all of your kinks? We know way too much about each other. Chapter 6, Jordan. She's refusing to talk to Pike now and then takes him his lunch to work. But I'm way ahead of him. Well, I snuck in a turkey and cheese cucumber wrap too, in case you want something different. His face falls. Don't worry, I tease. Your lunch is still in there. I just made too much and needed help finishing the wrap. The slight fear in his eyes dispels. What? Oh, that's so manly and masculine. Him scared of cucumber. And he takes a breath. You're not going to be happy until I'm eating hummus, are you? Penelope, this is several books now. You've had men speak down upon salad, vegetables, hummus, tofu, aka healthy foods, and even turkey, which is a healthier meat. Don't condone it, but facts are facts, right? Are you married to someone? Full stop. Are you married to someone who's going to have a heart attack at 50? Like, it doesn't come across as manly if a bloke doesn't want to eat broccoli. It's completely childish and pathetic and quite unmanly, in fact. And I just realised, turkey, cheese, cucumber, wrap. What is wrong with that? It's literally meat and cheese, you freak. Can the big man not handle a bit of cucumber? Get out. He apologises to her over their argument and gives her a tour of the site. It's not very interesting. I realise that's something I've been missing. I don't have a lot in common with other people in my life, do I? Have you ever considered trying? A day may come when the courage of Penelope prevails and they write a character with an actual personality. But it is not this day. I back away. See you at home. I'll have dinner ready by 5. He just nods and turns back to his work. Home? Not the house? It's not my home after all. I walk back to the car and climb in, feeling more out of sorts than when I came here. Dinner by 5? Cole doesn't get off till 6. Did I suddenly just forget he exists? Who the hell is Cole? Later on, she's at home. Pike is in the garage working on her car. She spies 2 ladies come by to flirt with Pike and gets jealous. And it's a reversal of the scene before with the neighbour, and it's more proof all of these books are exactly the same. Like they didn't see Pike out here working through their kitchen windows, shirtless with muscles flexing against his tan skin, still looking every inch the bad boy hottie they drooled over in high school probably. Unlike Penelope, the rest of us don't mentally still live in high school. Doesn't Pike understand this is a family neighborhood and the husbands don't appreciate vagina teasers swanning about shirtless in their own garages. Then Cole turns up wanting sex, but she rejects him because he's a loser. I can't listen to this right now. He grits out, "You know why I'm always gone? Because of that." He points at my face. "The way you look at me. I'm tired of not feeling good enough." This is an excuse naturally, and they keep fighting. I mean, how about not sucking as hard then? Have you tried that? Have you tried anything ever? He comes for me, taking my face in his hands. "Just shut up for a while and sleep with me." This almost works on her, by the way, but then she rejects him and he storms off, very manly. Also, the word charge and charging is used 20 times in this book, and it's very off-putting. Like the visual imagery, the mental imagery of people charging out the room or charging down the stairs. I don't know, it's just a bit silly to me. She realizes she likes herself more when he's not around. Dump him. It sounds like they'd spend the same amount of time together if they broke up and she dated his dad. Then she cries about all the bills and debt she and he are in, so she entertains bartending at the strip club some more. Bro, find you a man who isn't drinking his paychecks away and not paying his bills. She said she realised young she got scared of the unknown, so likes to challenge herself by taking my laundry down to the seedy basement at the old apartment by myself, sleeping in the dark without even the hall light on, driving home at 2 o'clock in the morning after a shift and not checking the back seat to make sure I'm alone in the car. One of these things is not like the other. So she goes to the pool and stays underwater looking like she's drowning to prove she's not scared of stuff and therefore can fix her bills and relationship problems. And then Pike joins her thinking she's drowning and she explains to him her bad logic. She tells him about how she and Cole met. She only met him when she was 16. I thought they were like lifelong best friends. They've known each other for 6 years. Just dump him. They also had a friend called Nick who died in a car crash, and the grief brought Cole and Jordan together. Everything's fine, or it will be, I say. It has to be. He darts his gaze to me again and I gesture to the pool. I sat at the bottom of a dark pool with my eyes closed until I couldn't hold my breath anymore. It has to be okay now, right? I ask. I've got a headache. He snorts, his mouth turning up in a grin. It's childish logic because she's young, so it's sus that I bet he finds her youthful naivety endearing. Mainly because it doesn't threaten his penis superiority. Chapter 17. No. I wish. Chapter 7, Jordan. Oh. Cole and Jordan make up. Pike is still doing too much for her benefit. Then one day at closing, Cole's car shows up. But when she gets in, it's Jay, the ex-boyfriend, because Cole is passed out somewhere, so Jay offered to come get Jordan. I close my eyes, trying to drown out the memory of him pounding on my car window one night as I frantically tried to get my key in the ignition. I can still feel the fire on my scalp from where he yanked my hair. Anyway, she runs back to the bar to hide from him and has no one to pick her up and doesn't want to ask Pike, so she elects to sleep on the snooker table at work instead. Pike ends up ringing her, worried about where she is, and she doesn't tell him she's sleeping at an empty bar, but they yap and she's like, "Why is your house empty?" And he's like, "Oh, I haven't unpacked my stuff for 10 years. He finally continues. Cole became more important, he admits. Somewhere along the way, who I was and what I wanted became irrelevant. I kind of understand. When you have kids, your hopes transfer to them. Your life takes a back seat to what they need. I get it. It sounds like a miserable waste of time, especially considering that Cole is a useless piece of shit. I grin, but of course he can't see it. Was he a one-girl kind of guy back in high school? Or did he have lots like Cole did before me? Oh, good, that old chestnut. Then she teases him about not having a girlfriend, and he's like, "How do you know I don't?" I mean, I was joking. Wouldn't it be awkward to have 2 women walking around the house? I already have my own chores down, and I do most of the cooking. That Butcher Block Island and I have a relationship now. I might get a little jealous if another woman touches it. Penelope, you are so sexist. It's just ingrained into you, isn't it? How in God's name could having 2 women around be awkward? Would they talk, then notice all these men are shit and move out? So he starts joking about getting his needs met to his, son's 19-year-old girlfriend. He scoffs, and I can just picture his face. Do you honestly see me being able to juggle more than one female ever? Female. She then realizes Cole's mum has been telling Cole lies about his dad being a cheat. She figures it out, but Cole doesn't. A smile still curls at the corner of my lips. How can a 38-year-old man not know how to make microwave popcorn? It's literally idiot-proof. I'd say weaponized incompetence, but those words are too big for you. Chapter 8. Pike. Pike wakes up and realizes Cole and Jordan aren't home yet. Then Cole comes home without Jordan, and Pike tries to whine to Cole that he was a good man to his mother, so why won't he talk to him? He asks about Jordan, and Cole is like, oh no, I hadn't seen her. Yeah, your buddy didn't bring her home. I have half a mind to be worried, but she lied for a reason. And despite how much I like Jordan, I can't help the old feelings curling through my gut that I haven't felt for a very long time. I don't like being lied to, especially by women. Okay, you weirdo incel. So he goes to her work to check on her because he thinks she cheated on Cole, as if it's his business. It is proper weirdo behaviour. He asks her if she and Cole had fun, and she lies, saying yes, and his temper starts rising. I even out my tone, trying to sound calm. Where were you all night, Jordan? Her gaze flashes everywhere but on me, her shoulders tense, and her breathing gets heavier. She can answer the question. She just doesn't want to. Jordan, is Cole home now? She asks. Yes. Then we're both fine. The rest isn't your concern, she states. I narrow my gaze on her. And my house isn't a hotel, little girl. She could have stayed with her sister or a friend, but why lie about that? She's hiding something. This is really weird. It's none of your business what a 19-year-old gets up to. I love that he immediately tries to undermine her by mentioning her age, which is only a problem for him because he's a lust-filled rage loser. I honestly don't care what you do, Jordan, I tell her, my heart slowly icing over, but I'm not stupid either. Cole may be distracted, but I'm not. Whoever picked you up last night didn't bring you home. So if you're screwing around on my son, I'll take offense to that, I warn her. And then I'll ask you to leave my goddamn house. I'm not paying to support someone like that. You understand? Don't you ever lie to me again. The irony here is Cole is cheating on her, and I'm sure we'll find out, and I bet he won't threaten him like this, or maybe he will. I don't know, don't really care. So Jordan walks off near tears, and the bar owner starts having a go at Pike. She pushes off the back counter and sucks in another drag before snuffing the cigarette out in an ashtray and planting her hands on the bar. She glares at me. Your dumbass kid was supposed to pick her up from work last night after she worked a 10-hour shift, she tells me. He got drunk at a party, and guess who came to get her instead? Jay McCabe, her ex, who thought it was fun back in high school to smack her around after he lost a game. What? She refused to be in the car with him, Shell snarls at me. Instead, I found her curled up, sleeping on the filthy pool table this morning because she didn't have anyone else to call last night. Then she narrows her eyes. She didn't want you to find out what a loser your son is. Thank God someone told the truth and didn't let this turn into an even bigger thing for 20 chapters. Protect this character at all costs. So then Pike gets big mad over Jay hitting Jordan. So he chases after Jordan, who is crying in a cupboard, and he says, sorry. But she suddenly whips around, glaring at me. You know the thing about men? She asks, wiping her eyes with hardness to her jaw. They think they can treat you badly because you'll take it. But you win when you never let them do it again. She steps up to me, adding, you can kiss my ass. How out of place in a Penelope Douglas book. He also realizes, wait, why are we fighting like this? I'm not her boyfriend. I'm her boyfriend's father. But he also realizes he likes her. How juvenile. There is a patch of mold beneath one of those bar tables with more cultural importance than this shit. Chapter 9, Jordan. She's mad at Pike for barging into her work, causing a scene and being an overall arse. Fair enough. She's intent on not going back to Pike's house or taking anything else from him, so goes out to the strip club. I guess intent on getting a job to make decent money to get her own flat again. The manager speaks to her. I turn my eyes back to the room, holding back my snicker. Dude should seriously start a booth at the high school career fair so he can snatch up women as soon as they ripen to the legal age of 18 rather than keep harassing me. Do I detect judgment coming from Penelope, paragraphs waxing lyrical about teenage girl titties Douglas? The manager is like, we get the same clientele as your bar, right? But my place is cleaner, better chefs, better menus. The only reason blokes go to your bar is to stare at the female bartenders. So what's the difference between working there and working here for me? Oh, except for the fact you'll make more money with me. I mean, I don't know. Rates of violence, sexual or otherwise, drug addiction, etc. Jordan stays with her sister to avoid the gruesome twosome. Then she goes out to Pike's to get her stuff, but Pike shows her he built her a garden because she likes landscaping. Somehow he did this in the time that she was gone. She was gone for 4 hours. Jordan, I was an asshole, he says. I jumped to a conclusion because I had it bad and I'm old and jaded. I expect gutter behaviour from everyone. He pauses and frowns. But it was me with the gutter behaviour. You're different and I really messed up. It won't happen again. I can't believe I said those things. I don't care. Then he's all, please, please, please don't leave. Stay as long as you want, please. And please don't cry or I'll build you a gazebo. New hack unlocked, I guess. Cry and get stuff built for you. So she decides to stay. Chapter 10, Pike. Pike is hosting a poker night with his workmates whilst Cole throws a party. How masculine and dull. Jordan appears. Bare feet appear appear on the stairwell, the legs coming more into view the lower they descend. Liquid heat runs down my arms and I stare at my hand, struggling to concentrate because she's all I'm aware of now. I hear things being moved in the freezer and glance over, my gaze immediately falling to her feet. She's on her tiptoes and bent over, holding the lid up with one hand as she digs in the huge container. She seems to be aware of her shorts and that she's bending over in front of a table of guys because she keeps straightening every few seconds and pulling her shorts down as much as she can. Her toes are painted a soft pink and I can tell she's wearing a bikini top under the grey t-shirt. The strings are visible tied behind her back and I can see more of it through the sides of her sleeveless t-shirt, which are cut out, showing off the curvy sun-kissed skin of her waist. The muscles flex in her thighs and my stomach swoops up and down. Why do authors insist on pushing their foot fetishes onto us? And he realises she's wearing one of his old t-shirts that she cut up. She looks better in it than I ever did. I glance at her again, seeing the shirt drape over her smooth, sun-kissed skin, and a subtle wave of pleasure creeps in that she's wearing something of mine on her. Stop saying sun-kissed. Stop saying sun-kissed. Learn some new words. Also, Pike got Jordan a birthday cake because he remembered she didn't have any on her actual birthday. Pushing through the door at the top of the stairs, I hear the blare of I Love Rock and Roll coming from the backyard and the splash of someone jumping into the pool. I tasked Jordan with collecting keys for anyone drinking, but if the neighbours decide to call the cops because of the noise, my safety measure to keep kids from drunk driving wouldn't save me from the illegality of letting minors drink here in the first place. Although I have a cop downstairs, so I'm guessing the odds are on my side, local corruption. He feels silly about the cake, but she loves it. She dips her finger into a rose and brings it to her mouth, sucking off the sugar. My gaze freezes, watching the way her lips purse and her tongue dips out to lick the tiny bit of frosting left off the tip. I groan inwardly, unable to stop myself from wondering how warm her mouth is. Then he lights a matchstick for her to blow out because she likes blowing out candles, making wishes, and he offers to get Cole, but she doesn't want him around. I breathe a little faster, imagining what she tastes like. Just make out already. He then calls her birthday girl. He also gives her his dad's old cassette tape with 80s music on it. I wonder what Cole got her for her birthday 3 weeks ago. An old sock, I bet. Finally, I inhale a breath and back away. Make sure they clean up when they're done, okay? Not make you do everything. Not make you do everything. Whatever. Anyway, the party is still raging on at 1 a.m, heavens to Betsy, and Pike starts getting annoyed, and the thermostat is at 26 degrees, which is too hot for him. So he gets up and spies on the party and can see girls missing their bikini tops making out with some dudes. Whoa, scandalous. Crazy. Project X. Then he sees Cole trying to take Jordan's bikini off in the pool. She doesn't want to, and of course he secretly ogles her. I run my hand over my face, trying to rub away the shame, because if I were Cole, I'd be handling her very much the same, but a lot more privately. I wouldn't want anybody seeing what I get to see. Maybe stop fantasizing about what you'd do to your son's girlfriend. Then Jordan puts a shirt on and storms indoors, annoyed at Cole. Just break up. The remnants of the party run around the backyard, some kid catching a squealing girl who's half naked, and I drop my eyes again, feeling stupid like this isn't my house and I'm some 70-year-old pervert spying on teens gone wild running around my own damn yard. You kind of are. Anyway, they stay inside together, cutting up fruit and low-key flirting. Then the idiot somehow cuts himself cutting fruit, so she fusses over him, bandages him up. This happens in every single romance book as well, because they are all the same. Jordan keeps talking about trying to get Pike laid. I feel a warm, light sweat cover my spine as I become aware of the heat of her body standing between my legs. I watch as she blows hair over her face, only for it to fall back into the same place again. Orange bikini isn't the one I want jumping on me. Absently, I reach up and brush the hair out of her eye, grazing her forehead as I tuck it behind her ear for her. Her gaze rises, meeting mine as I let my hand fall down the strands of her smooth hair, and my heart skips a beat as we stand there, locked. I can almost feel her face in my hands. The urge is so strong to know what it's like to hold just a part of her. Just do it already, and at least I can pretend it's the real ending to Squid Game with Ji-hun and In-ho. What? Then suddenly she whispers, well, what do you like? I watch as she licks her lips, her breathing shallow, and the jolt to my bits has left me feeling damn near ready to tear something apart in my teeth. What is she doing to me? Women old enough to drink for starters, I retort, pulling my hand away. Anyway, they finish flirting and he's all like, I like talking to you. Chapter 11, Jordan. I like talking to you. What have I ever said that was so fascinating? I don't know. Don't look at me. Don't ask. I carve into the potato skin, rough and abrasive. Typical. I always grow attached to things that aren't forever. The idea of my mum returning to me when I was little, Nick, Jay, my apartment, and the desire to make a home of my own. I amaze myself at how absolutely pathetic I continue to be. That is just life, you idiot. She thinks he can make her happy in a way that my boyfriend should. Look, just shit or get off the pot. I can't believe I have to trawl through 400 pages of this. Just do it already. Pike gets topless working in the garden. His skin, golden and toned, looks warm and smooth. The muscles of his stomach and the cords running down his forearms press against his skin, displaying how long and hard he's worked in his life. Sweat glistens down his neck and spine, and I can see the ripples of the muscles in his back, even through the tattoos. Long legs in worn jeans with his t-shirt hanging out the back pocket and covering part of his. I wet my lips as I tear my eyes off his behind and stare at the way his jeans hang off his hips. Every muscle flexes as he chops branch after branch, and all I can manage is short, shallow breaths as I even admire the way his pant legs drape over his tan construction boots. Mr. Lawson is hot. He's able and strong-bodied, and I wonder what he feels like. What is he like with a woman? It's only fair I read this out loud after suffering for all the paragraphs about, the teenager's boobs. Then Cam comes in to point out that Jordan never ogles Cole like that. Shut up. I'm young enough to be his daughter. But you're not his daughter, she shoots back, turning towards me and leaning in. You're a hot, young piece of pussy living under his roof, and he's thought about that. I wonder if Penelope is an only child. Either way, Cam is a degenerate who shouldn't be talking about Jordan like this. It's so weird, and again, pseudo-incestuous. It's so weird. Jordan says she's not jealous and Pike can date whoever he wants, so Cam goes outside to flirt with him. After a moment, she touches his arm and I barely breathe as I watch her bend her neck, inspecting his ink. Then quickly, she straightens and lifts her arm, showing him the huge black phoenix on the side of her torso. Is everyone in this town tattooed? Is it a requirement? So Jordan then starts freaking out that Pike fancies Cam, but Cam is just trying to goad Jordan, so Jordan storms off to take a shower in Pike's shower because he's remodeling her ensuite. What sexy hijinks will this lead, I wonder? Pike's not like that. He needs someone calm, someone who knows how to keep him calm, someone who can wrap their arms around his neck and make the rest of the world disappear. Behold, the alleged power of a teenage vagina. I like to believe that all of these take place in the same town, and it's just seething men who cannot be calmed by anything other than teenagers. And I just love how the men have to be kept calm, or they'll be hell to pay, or something you'd see in a Joker Facebook meme. She realizes that she does fancy Pike after all, and she uses his shower wash and gets horny from his scent, and then she starts getting off in his shower over the thought of him and forces herself to think of Cole, but it doesn't work. So then she fantasizes about Pike, calling her a good girl, etc. Then she starts using his loofah on herself, like she uses the word chafes, like chafing her, vagina. That is not a nice word for a sex scene. Chafes, tears, and burns are apparently all sexy words. What the hell is wrong with me? Why would I do that? And with his father, I'm confused and stressed out and seeking comfort in a guy because he's been nice to me a couple times. Jesus. No matter what happens with Cole and me, Pike Lawson is off limits. Don't forget that. There are hundreds of men out there just like him. He's not special. It is true, these losers do tend to pop up everywhere. She realizes she's used Pike's loofah on herself. He's going to love that, isn't he? The filthy git. Chapter 12, Pike. Jordan and Pike are shopping together for her garden. She looks beautiful today, and shit keeps happening to my body every time I look at her. Oh my god, that literally just made my head pound even more. It is so dull. Like there are live wires under my Dan's skin. Black t-shirt, white shorts, hair down and free, minimal makeup. She's no frills and it works. Farmer's daughter and exactly my type once upon a time. Yeah, not like those sluts with bad genetics right at FMC who looks like shit without makeup. I dare you. Anyway, Jordan, that was a joke, is mulling over that backsplash stuff that she likes to get horny about. It reminds me of a cave, she finally says. You're like a cave. You don't give up all your secrets at once. Who knows how deep you go, right? My eyebrows shoot up. What? How deep do I go? Did she just? Her eyes suddenly go round as she jerks her gaze to me, looking mortified. I mean, she rushes out, like, on the inside, your personality. A blush rises to her cheeks. I didn't mean it like, ugh. I can't tell if the euphemism is about him ploughing her or his asshole. Either way, this whole story can go up his ass. Then an attendant mistakes Jordan for Pike's wife, and he's pleased about it. Grow up. This is a 39-year-old man. 38, 39, whatever. At home, it's nearly 40. At home, he's still fed up of Cole ignoring him and partying so much and blames himself for Cole's behaviour, and then he blames Jordan for his behaviour too. Then Dutch rings Pike to tell him to go to Grounders, Jordan's bar, right now because she's misbehaving. And then he finds the leaflet about the wet t-shirt competition, which is weeks away. The tension is incredibly bearable. Is this Jordan's? It's from The Hook. Did her sister give this to her? Jesus, what is wrong with that girl? Who would encourage their little sister to enter a wet t-shirt contest, for Christ's sake? I actually think the sister is the weirdest one of the lot. I think she wants to bang Jordan and no one can convince me otherwise. Don't even look at me like that. Penelope loves pseudo-incest. Leave me alone. Pike worries, so gets to... And believe me, when I write a romance, it's not going to be like this. There's not going to be no pseudo-incest. There'll just be actual incest. Look, I'm going to write a romance about the apocalypse, all right? There's going to be people getting freaky. Pike worries, so he gets to Jordan's bar and finds Jordan wearing jeans and a corset. That was it. Like, that was the whole thing that Dutch rung him and said, come to the bar now. I see people wearing less clothes scrolling through Instagram. These men need to get a life. My eyes fall down to her cleavage, my head spinning with images of what will spill out when she unlaces that top tonight. But like Dutch said about this, Cole wouldn't like what Jordan is wearing. And again, get a grip. Who cares what he thinks? Dutch turns his head towards me. His drink inches from his lips. It's the lingerie show, he tells me. They have it every Thursday night. The bartenders and servers don nighties or corsets and serve drinks and food. It's fun. No, not really. Right, so she was wearing something specifically for work and Dutch tattled. So weird. Again, these men are like 40 and have had sex before, apparently. Apparently this is a first for Jordan though. God forbid a young woman wants to mix it up a bit. He takes it upon himself to confront Jordan and says, what if your father walked in here? The father who is, according to the story, a complete deadbeat. Who cares what he thinks? He also says he'd rather lend her money than her do the wet t-shirt contest, and they sneak off to argue. I would rather eat from a dumpster than take money from you, she bites out. I should shut up, but God help me, I can't. Hate to break it to you, but you already do, I tell her. You live in a house where you pay no rent or utilities, young lady. I cook and clean for you, she shouts, but I doubt anyone can hear us back here through the music. I pay my way, you arrogant douche. All right, I growl, blinking long and hard. You're right, okay? But Jordan, men will get ideas. They'll think they can have a free pass and they can touch what belongs to my son. You're embarrassing him. Your son? She mocks, laughing. Well, you just missed him, actually. He already saw me. He doesn't care, Pike. He thought I looked good. Then he left with his friends. He doesn't care. So because she's wearing a corset, men will apparently assault her, and somehow that will be embarrassing for Cole rather than traumatizing for Jordan. Also, she does not belong to Cole. Penelope, go away, you sexist weirdo. An audience, imagine I said something a lot stronger than go away. Either that passage is how Penelope actually thinks, which doesn't surprise me. I'm on the 5th one of this now. It doesn't surprise me. Or this is how Pike thinks, which would be a great sign that a teenager shouldn't get involved with him. He accidentally admits that he cares, and I cannot express to you guys enough how mainstream dark erotica, dark smut, which is all this is so shit. Like right now, I could be reading almost infinite amounts of other smut, yellow smut, dark smut, whatever, and all of them, like most of them anyway, have much better written sex scenes and genuine dark romance tones, but in which characters, like the main characters, don't get abused by the love interests. But instead I'm reading this garbage for a paycheck. Then he starts perving on how beautiful she is. You're the man that's getting ideas and are going to embarrass your son. I don't know if this is irony, but I hate it regardless. He says to her, don't change, and forbids her from working at the Hook. Then he goes back to his friend's table. She smiles. Hey guys. Then she starts unloading her tray, setting a round of shots in front of us. They're pink or orange on the bottom with some kind of yellow liquid on top. What's this? Jason Bryant, one of my guys, asks. It's called a pineapple upside down cake, she says. It's on the house. Jordan says they're Pike's favourite. A round of laughter explodes around the table at the chick shot everyone now thinks I drink, and I shoot Jordan a look at the bar. That is so funny. I literally forgot to laugh. Alpha males have only one weakness: drinks with flavour, clothes in soft colours, children playing with gender non-specific toys, assertive women, people who are experts in their field, the entire scientific community, people making choices different to their own, and reality itself. Then Jordan asks Pike for a lift at 2 a.m. and Dutch is all, whoa, we have to be at work at 5 a.m. And Pike is like, it's fine. Bro is down bad. You shouldn't be missing sleep at your big age. Then Dutch ruins it and cock blocks him on purpose. Then Pike admits to himself he's attracted to her and wants to protect her, but not in a fatherly way. And didn't he already realise this like a chapter ago? A Penelope trope we know and love is characters having the same realization multiple times, so the reader feels like they're having an aneurysm trying to follow the logic of the story. Then Dutch says this. Yeah, she looked like she wanted to straddle your hard, intimidating penis right there in the bar. I've had enough of every man in these stories being absolute dirt. I want to go back to my old man Yeo and a prize for anyone in the audience who has any idea what I could be possibly referencing right now in this corner of space and time. But who am I kidding? This is just how men speak though. Guys are always complimenting one another's throbbing truncheons, their assertive divining rods, their gentrified plumbing. Don't talk about her like that, I tell him. That's my kid's girlfriend, man. Come on, straddling my... I shake my head. Unbelievable. So she's off limits to you then. Dutch has been eating crayons again. Then Dutch says Jordan is exactly Pike's type and he shouldn't be left alone with her. How ominous. You're not seeing yourself from my perspective. He looks out the front windshield, solemn. You look at each other like? He swallows an unusually troubled pinch to his brow. Never heard pinched brows before. Like the two of you have your own language. Men like this do not talk like that. It's too poetic coming from the sleazy lurker. Chapter 13, Jordan. Jordan gets home, doesn't want to see Cole, fancies Pike, likes the way Pike looks at her, and enjoyed the possessive attention she got from Pike in her corset. She then sees Cole in the backyard, cheating on her, shagging some girl in the pool. Then Pike comes downstairs and sees it too, so he storms outside to yell at Cole. I'm upset and hurt, but mostly just pissed, and not entirely with Cole either. I did this to myself. I always do this to myself. Shut up. Shut up with the modest self-pity and martyrdom. You didn't make him shag another girl in front of you, you unbelievably dense twit. Stand up. So Jordan goes outside to confront Cole too. I surprised myself by how calm my tone is and how I'm not crying. I don't mind crying in front of Cole, but I'm not tearing up in front of her. Something, women are evil sluts and men just can't help themselves. The girl says sorry to Jordan and runs off. Cole admits he's been cheating on her since her birthday. I've known you a long time, he says, and we both needed each other a lot when this started, but you were always going to move on. You know that. He's known her for 3 years. Like, what kind of excuse is that? She realizes he's been shagging that girl in her bed at parties and everyone knew except her in their social circle. Cole says he will move out and stay with Eleanor and Jordan, that's the girl, can stay at Pike's. But Jordan moves back to her dad's and realizes she's going to miss Pike more than Cole, which we know. We know she'll miss Pike more than Cole because you've already explicitly stated she's more attracted to Pike than Cole. Cole barely features in this book. Pike at least takes her in his truck, but not in that way. This isn't Credence. Chapter 14, Pike. So he drives her to her father's trailer park and begins seething about how poverty-stricken the place is and doesn't want Jordan living there. Also, Jordan has a stepbrother called Ryan. One of Ryan's buddies nudges him. Is this the one who's a stripper? I tighten my fingers around the box. He snorts, nearly spitting up his beer. Nah, man, that's the other one. But then his eyes take Jordan in, moving up and down her with a smirk. This one can dance a little too, though. Oh, so it's wrong when Jordan's stepbrother says this, but it's okay when Maddox does similar to Fallon. If Pike wasn't in this story yet, Ryan would be the main love interest. They discover that Jordan's room is full of junk and no longer has a bed, so Pike is like, absolutely not, we are leaving. I mean, if it's a choice between this and a really nice modern clean house that isn't covered in mouse traps and you can also bang your ex-boyfriend's dad to upset your cheating ex, it's finally happened. These books have finally worn me down. I cannot fight it any longer. Let's just bask in the filthy, toxic mess together. Jordan, go shag that old man right now. So he takes her stuff back to the truck and she follows. Her father isn't a bad guy. From what I know of him anyway. We've even talked a few times in passing. But he's weak. He's drunk and he's a loser. He's the type who does the bare minimum in life and puts up with scraps because he's too lazy to fight for better. He can't be there for her. You can tell how childish Penelope's logic is. Bad doesn't just equal beating people up. Doing this stuff and not providing for the family you choose to have, like the babies you choose to keep popping out, is also bad. He's a bad dad. He is a bad guy. He tells her to suck it up and swallow her pride and stay with him. Now, Jordan, I slam the steering wheel with my palm. She sucks in a breath, her eyes flaring. I don't know if I scared her or if she's worried about making a scene. Well, when all else fails, just start hitting stuff. She leaves with him and they go home. No one else in her life can give her what she deserves. And until she can provide it for herself, then I'm taking that responsibility. Screw it. She deserves the best. She's getting the best. Getting the best from who? You. He balances the parental instincts and lust for the teen in the way I balance the vomit and smoothie in my mouth. He apologizes to her for being so pushy and begs her to stay, and she agrees. Chapter 15. Jordan. As a tenant of his now, she insists on paying at least the gas bill. If he catches me sneaking in the fair trade coffee. So this was in a sentence about organic, fat-free things, almond milk, being put in the fridge. But fair trade coffee, that's not like the other things. This is implying Pike is cool with coffee being taken from slave labor. Clearly Penelope is being derisive, because we know she likes her men to eat only bacon and have heart attacks by the age of 45. So I guess Penelope is also cool with slave-laboured coffee beans. Wild. Absolutely wild and telling, the stuff that gets slipped into these books. In addition to the gas and grocery bill, I've taken on the responsibility for the downstairs of the house. Dusting, vacuuming, sweeping, mopping, keeping the kitchen tidy, although he has to do the dishes when I cook and I only have to do them when he cooks. Which actually, he hasn't done it all in the 3 days since I've come to stay here. I kind of realised at some point over the last few weeks that he really only makes meals from frozen food section in the grocery store or canned soup and stews. So I've taken over meals completely and he does the dishes, and I'm cool with that. Living the housewife dream there, eh, champ? I love all these dreamy men who can't manage to cook a single meal that doesn't have to defrost. I suppose he's busy because of his hobby of drinking with that lusty poet from earlier. But it hasn't happened. He tosses his boots in the closet after work, picks up the t-shirts he discards if he gets too hot, and I never have to bug him to get his clothes out the dryer. I realised I've never lived with a man who lived on his own before me. Until now, that is. Pike's used to taking care of himself and his things because there's no one else there to do it for him. It's like a whole new world. You literally said this when you moved in with him. So you're just wasting my time. She moves also into the spare room. Can we just please get on with the inevitable banging now? I'm so tired of this lack of foreplay. I'm 53% of the way through. Just get it over with. There's some sort of flood at the riverbank, so Pike and Jordan go help sandbag it. Someone, April, the lady from earlier, turns up. It's the lady from the bar who likes to bang and is talking to Pike, and Jordan gets jealous. So then he takes Jordan mudding in his truck and then he literally throws mud at her. It's actually poetic how we've sunk to the level of pigs rolling around in the mud. Anyway, they go home and hose off in the backyard, and it's an excuse for Pike to take his top off for Jordan to check him out. And then he starts hosing her down. She's got her top on still, and touches her all over, and she's throbbing. Yeah, well, so is my head. She then takes off her top and they are still in the backyard. I bet Kyle, the neighbour, is masturbating furiously right now. You have some mud, I explain, looking up at him with my body pressing into his. It's hilarious because PD is telling us it's fine, see, because Jordan is instigating it. Then he's all, it's okay, you just miss Cole. And she's all, no, this isn't the first time I've wanted you to touch me. Get it over with. He slowly lets his fingers fall from my chin, both of his hands balling into fists, and he clenches his jaw, suddenly looking angry. On reflex, I take a step back, but I don't get any further. Grabbing my waist, he hauls me into him, sneaking an arm around me and gripping my jaw in his hand, between his thumb and forefingers. I gasp, loving the feeling of his body hard against mine, but scared too because he looks so mad. No, he growls, baring his teeth. That's the second time he's done that, looking at me with fury in his eyes. Do you understand? It's not happening. You're not getting that from me. Tears fill my eyes and I can barely see him anymore as my body shakes with a silent sob. His arm is like steel around me and I can feel the heat of his rage coming off of his skin. He shakes me. You want to get laid? Then you go hunt somewhere else. I suck in air and twist away from him, pushing his body away. This is literally weirder than if he just gave in and kissed her. What a mood swing. Then he tells her to go to her room. I'll find another bed tonight. Thank you. Anyone will do for a slut like me, right? I whip around and run for the back door. But he grabs the inside of my elbow and hauls me back into the wall of his chest. I drop my shirt and shoes, and he forces us forward into the wall of the house. I shoot out my hands, crashing into the siding. Jesus. I shake, sucking in short, shallow breaths. As my heart races and my blood runs hot under my skin. What the? He reaches around, taking my face in his hands, and his hot breath is in my ear. Don't threaten me with shit like that. If you want to act like a brat, maybe you should get grounded like one, huh? Everything I know about PD's kinks is against my will. Also, it's 1 a.m, so I have to be a bit quieter than usual. When was the last time a woman got hot in your bed? You're not even a man. He growls and slams his palm into the house in front of me. I jump, and then they kiss. Hooray. So they make out and he's like, oh no, we shouldn't do this. And she's like, okay, I'll move in my sister. And he's like, no way. And starts kissing her again. And then Cole appears, so Jordan hides. Where's Jordan? Cole says. I don't know. Inside? My eyes fall and guilt hits me like a stab. He had to lie to him. I mean, of course he would. I would have as well. But the reality sinks in that I can leave Cole and walk away and his life will go on. Pike can't do that. That's his son. Who the hell is Cole? She really took care of me when Cole trails off and then continues. When I couldn't stand to have anyone else around, I never wanted to hurt her. Needles prick my throat. Everything is so messed up because I don't know how angry I'm allowed to be. He did it right under my nose for weeks. But in my heart, I wasn't faithful to him either. You had a crush on a hotter, older version of your boyfriend. It's not really the worst thing in the world. Meanwhile, he was getting drunk, leaving you in dangerous scenarios and shagging one of your friends or social circle for weeks. It's not really the same. Then Cole wanders off and Pike is like, Jordan, this can't happen. Chapter 16, Pike. So he starts having sex dreams about her. I need to get laid. That's all there is to it. Jordan isn't special. She's not. She's a hot young woman living in my house and constantly in my face, walking around in her short shorts with her long legs, perky ass, and lips that taste like a peach. It's like putting a steak in front of a starving pit bull and saying, don't touch. Actually, well-socialized and trained dogs understand the meaning of the word no better than coho and PD combined. Christ, she's a kid. If she were 2 years younger, I could go to prison for what I almost did to her last night. Ain't that the truth? Jordan arrives. You're a beautiful girl, Jordan, I say in nearly a whisper. But you are just a girl. Thought she was the perfect woman, but this is going to make things 100 times worse. She's going to try to prove how she's actually grown up enough for them to bang. My hands were on you too, she says. And then she pulls the door open and walks out, closing it gently behind her. I stare after her, the empty space making me suddenly want her back. Don't say things like that, I mumble to an empty house. If I know you want it too, how will I be able to resist you? I don't know, man. Supposedly you're the adult in this scenario. He's hanging out with friends. Todd passes by, laughing. I'll bet calzones taste even better with a certain barefoot blonde making them too. Again with the foot fetishes and these authors. Not too anxious though. I kept the guys an hour later today on purpose because while I'm dying to see her, I don't want to be dying to see her, and I needed to prove that I have some control over myself. Grown man acting this way. All this proves is his life is so sad and empty, a near child chatting to him turns his world upside down. Take an art class, travel, do anything that isn't resenting your ex. And all in all, I did well. I was the one who stopped things last night, right? Twice. I have a moral compass, and while it wavered, it found true north, eventually. And I'm only human. Would anyone not notice how beautiful she is? I don't know if PD can read, but you know Lolita isn't meant to be a step-by-step manual, right? He plans to get himself a date. She's not a woman, she's not experienced in the world, and I'm not the man who's going to marry her or give her kids. I have no right to her. Have no right to her. What century are we in? No man has a right to a woman? What a weird thing to say. Kyle, the neighbour, is getting Jordan to babysit his kids, presumably to hit on her. Then Jordan cries so they can have a cuddle with Pike, not with Kyle, and he insists on her bringing Kyle's kids round to their house so Kyle can't hit on her when he gets back home. So they have the kids over and play in the pool. The duality of her swimsuit has the coils in my brain twisting tighter and tighter, and I'm so confused. She wears black on the bottom, adult, sexy, and beautiful against her tan skin, and pink on the top, innocent, sweet, and entirely Jordan, because she can be such a girly girl. Her thighs, toned and smooth, and the cute, studious expression on her face as she furrows her brow and concentrates on her task. Everything about her is young, except her eyes. Eyes that can be so patient because she's had years of practice being disappointed, but eyes that can also be angry because you know shit has been hitting the fan in her life since day one and hasn't eased up one bit. What a load of crap. These passages make me recoil as I read. I have a physical aversion to Penelope's writing and naturally feel the need to get away from it. Anyway, there it is. She's so much more mature than other girls her age. She has the smooth skin. This is the skin of a killer, Bella. The smooth skin and body of a young woman, but the eyes of someone who's seen decades. No, she hasn't. No, she doesn't. She has the smooth skin and body of a young woman, but the eyes of someone who's seen decades, officer. Anyway, boys keep hitting Jordan up now she's single, and she agrees to go tubing with one, so Pike kicks off. I approach her at the edge of the pool. No, I tell her, shaking my head. No. Huh? Her eyebrows pinch in confusion. 6 hours of drifting on a river with nothing else to do but drink your ass off? I blurt out. By the time he gets you back to his truck, you'll be 3 sheets to the wind, and then you really will be easy picking. I let out a bitter laugh. Absolutely not. Her eyes round and her jaw clenches in anger. Oh shit. You are so, she whisper yells so the kids don't hear. Old school. She scowls up at me, her lips tight. This alpha possessive keep your daughter locked up with a shotgun thing is insulting. I'm not an idiot, and you, she bares her teeth, are not my father. I arch an eyebrow as she pulls her legs out of the water and stands, huffing. I fall back, floating through the water. Yeah, believe me, I know that. The thoughts I have about you aren't the least bit fatherly. She's 19. Let her drunkenly hook up with someone else, you freak. I guess his old school possessiveness is eventually going to seem charming and protective, or some other middle of the road denim jeans wearing unimaginative Americana crap. Then I hear her voice. It's like an angel sighing. I'm joking. Oh, and you're a jerk, she says. I peer over at her. You'll thank me when you're not getting date raped. Using rape against a woman in an argument tells me everything I need to know about a person if the previous 242 pages weren't glaring enough. Jordan leaves to take the kids home. Grabbing the damp towels off the deck, I trail into the house and lock the back door, turning off the pool light as well. Tossing the towels into the water. Sorry, scratching my nose. I leave the lid open so I can put more in after my shower. Penelope, this is so boring of you. I don't like doing chores. Why do I have to hear about this chump doing them? Then Jay, Jordan's ex, shows up, looking for her, so Pike threatens to kill him and bury him under a house he's constructing, and Jay drives off scared. Then he goes for a shower and jacks off over Jordan, not literally over her, she's still safe next doors, you know what I mean. He fully fantasizes about her getting into his bed, scared of a storm, you know, like a child would, and then he fantasizes about doing stuff to her, and it goes on for pages. Even in his fantasy, he's saying, Jordan, no, we shouldn't. I just need to screw a real thing, not her. Real thing? Maybe invite someone more age appropriate over to share a carton of frozen canned soup. He decides he's going to get it over with and find someone to bang to distract from Jordan. Chapter 17. I can't believe that's the character development going on. Jordan. They are going to a block party potluck hosted by Dutch together, and you didn't sneak in anything weird like wheat germ or use cauliflower instead of actual potatoes in the potato salad like one of those low-carb bullshit diets call for, right? He goes on. How much fibre, on average, do you think Freudian slip. Do you think Douglas men get? Why are they so obsessed with not being able to shit efficiently? Go choke on some chia seeds. Every single one of Penelope's books, alongside Coho's, has a character sneering at alternative food choices. Like, it's called progression, sweetie. Look it up sometime. Oh, we're kicking it now, she jokes, leading the way into the party. Although this one, she gestures to Dutch, had to be... I remember this one time I was trying to do like low-carb vegan. Very difficult. And I made a mashed potatoes, but instead of potatoes, I blended up a bunch of steamed cauliflower and put like an unholy amount of garlic in it and a bunch of butter because somehow that's healthy on keto. Vegan butter, obviously, so just vegetable oil. So, you know, this vegetable oil, cauliflower, garlic, salty mess, peak health, delicious, I might add. But I can't advise it too much because it will make you shit. Unlike all of these men in these books who like being constipated, I guess. Oh, we're kicking it now, she jokes, leading the way into the party. Although this one, she gestures to Dutch, had to beer up every time he was forced to move one picnic table this morning. Pike chuckles, and I gather this is Dutch's wife. All Douglas men are useless, clogged, arteried, red-faced alcoholics. Prove me wrong. Unless they're ruggedly handsome, in which case they can only eat ready meals and cry impotently over relationship trauma while punching walls. How long have you and Dutch been married? I ask. She sighs. 14 years. She looks over at me. And 3 kids later, I still want to kill him every day, but he makes good spaghetti. So is this that boomer humour I've been warned about? Anyway, Dutch's wife gossips about Pike, and it's not interesting, so I'm skimming. She should talk to her about how her husband comes into the bar to lust after her and her sister. He wanted me the other night, and if it weren't for Cole, I have no doubt we would have slept together. But Cole is there, between us, and we can't change that. Not ever. It's wrong, and no matter how much I want him, he would only hate himself afterward. His son will always be more important than anything else. I mean, Cole is a twat though, so who cares? Pike treats Cole with the same level of commitment Willy Wonka does with that one kid, Augustus Gloop, where he falls into the chocolate river and he's like, stop, don't, come back. Wait, was that Or was that Mike TV? Which is, Augustus Gloop is the one where the German lady's like, get him out. And he's like, help, police, murder. Great film. Love that movie. Love that scene. Love Gene Wilder in it. So good. Guys, go rewatch it. Jordan gets all, oh no, he's a good man. I can't ruin that. Lady, he's the one with the responsibility to Cole. He's the one ruining things. Get a grip. Carter, a guy who wants to take Jordan out on a date, is also at the party, so she leaves with him to a different party and Pike gets jealous. Oh my god, did you hear about Jillian? Selena Gardner gestures to another girl, intimately chewing on the end of a straw. She tells Dean and Matt that one of them is the father, then they go to get paternity tests, and neither of them is the dad. She laughs. Oh my god, the other girl's eyes bug out. Shit, does she even... Wait, where are they from? I don't care. Shit, does she even know whose it is? Who cares? Selena furrows her brow, leaning back into the car again. I'll be more concerned about her catching something other than a baby. I don't leave the house without condoms anymore. You never know when you're gonna need them. Like, really? Everyone laughs, and I fake half a smile in an effort to not be awkward, but I'm sure I am, since I've barely said 2 words in the last 10 minutes. Yes, I forgot you're so above small town gossip and having fun. I forgot you're not interested in anything other than cooking and cleaning for your ex-boyfriend's dad. Because she's bored and rude, she rings her sister to come pick her up rather than, I don't know, if she accidentally has a good time or something. Cam comes to take her home, but April's car is in the driveway. Hope Pike is banging her. She's probably selling Girl Scout cookies, Cam jokes, but I'm seething. It's not cookie season. Oh, honey, for some of us, it's always cookie season. I turn to my sister, who makes a V with her fingers in front of her mouth and sticks her tongue between the 2 fingers, wiggling it. Weirdo. So she internally begs Pike not to be drilling April and finds them playing pool and flirting. I'm a kid, for crying out loud. How am I supposed to get schoolwork done and sleep if they're going to go at it all night? Oh, you are a kid, are you? I was under the impression that you were wise beyond your years or something because of your old eyes. One day I'm going to write one of these stories and the FMC will be in her early 20s, look her age, but will have a wizened vagina, aged and matured well beyond her years, and all the men will be horrified. So she stomps through the house and turns on loud music and sulks, and Pike and April come up and April leaves because it's awkward, and then they start bickering. But I did think you'd have some damn taste, for crying out loud, I remarked, gluing on some more grass under the fake tree. Excuse me? I look up. Did you know she broke up Marcus Weather's marriage? I asked him. She hangs around the bar, waiting to see who's going to take her home on any given night, and she's not picky. Married, taken, whatever. Good thing I'm not taken then, he fires back. There's no problem. I lower my eyes and recap the glue, realising I lost that round. You can do better, I finally mumble. He can't. It's not that I hate April. I didn't care what she did to the whose marriage before. So you're just a hypocrite, huh? It takes 2 to tango, doesn't it? And Marcus Weathers was also to blame. Is this the first time a bloke has been blamed for something in one of these books? Wow. But I care now that it's hitting too close to home. Pike is taken. What business is it of yours? He challenges, walking back over the table. I'm a grown-ass man who's been having sex since before you were born. Wow, don't go there. I'm used to getting it whenever I like. What? No, you're not, you incel. And I don't answer to you. You hear me? His words bite and I feel small. I'll keep doing whatever I want, regardless of the opinions of some kid living under my roof. Wow. I can see why she's so into him. The word kid hits me like a hammer and my heart sinks. I grind my teeth, twisting the hurt into anger. Got it. I look up at him. I'll go to my room then. I rise from my seat and his eyes immediately drop to my bare stomach. The t-shirt falls well above my belly button and I revel in the way his body freezes and he has to tear his eyes away. Oh my god, just bang already. I've had lots of sex. Lots. You can't tell me what to do. I'm an adult and a man. Pike, age 39. Ladies in the comments, can you offer any thoughts on why this catch might be single? So she starts bending over to turn him on. You're pissing me off more by the second. His raspy growl sounds dangerous. You've ruined my night and I've still got a lot of steam to blow off, so tread carefully. What a threat. He squares his shoulders, breathing hard. Go to your room, Jordan. Happily, I back away, teasing him. I have a vibrator up there with bigger balls than you. I was cackling at that bit, not gonna lie. So he grabs her, chucks her over his shoulder, spanks her, and carries her to her bedroom and chucks her on the bed. Now go to bed, he barks. I blow the hair out my eyes and see him walking away. Tuck me in. I see him drop his head and he's breathing so hard like he's almost out of fuel. He turns, calming his voice just a hair. What the hell has gotten into you tonight? Is he kidding? I shoot off the bed and stand in front of him. You brought her here, that's what. It's my house. I shake my head. She won't satisfy you, I tell him. She's not what you want. Why has she become a nympho? She keeps really trying it with him, and I can't repeat like half of what she says, so use your imaginations. He sucks in a breath, closing his eyes, and I can feel him get excited through his jeans. Jordan, please, he begs, sounding desperate. Jeez. This is a first, isn't it? He's the one basically telling her no, and she's not listening. He's saying please, as in please stop. So she starts stripping off to tease him even more and doing more dirty talk. I love how you worry about me and want to protect me, I say, but a girl has needs too, and eventually I'll have to find another man who can do your job better. Rage burns behind his frozen stare, but he doesn't blink. She's negging him into sex. This is bizarre. So he gives up trying to reject her. I gasp as he puts his hands under my arms and lifts me off my feet, bringing me face to face with him like I'm 5 years old. I may be out of practice, little girl. He bites out in a threatening tone, but I think I'll figure it out. Love the imagery of, her being like a kid. Then he kisses her. Chapter 18, Pike. God damn it, I'm not stopping. I can't. That'll hold up in court. They make out, whatever. What do you see in me, girl? I ask, shaking my head. I couldn't keep a 19-year-old woman happy when I was 19. Does she think I can do it now? I mean, it should be a bit easier considering you are 20 years her senior and she's a nitwit. So they go to his room. She's going to spoil me so much that no one else will ever do again. And what's down there? I play with her, staying just out of reach every time she moves in for a kiss. Use your adult words, Jordan. What do you want me to kiss? Yikes. They do sex stuff. It's terribly boring. It's not a patch on my old man yowie. I feel a smile tug at the corners of my mouth, wondering how many other adult words she knows. She's 19, not 8. There were quite a few chances to make a nonce joke here, but I wasn't sure if I should. They also both keep calling the vagina a see you next Tuesday, and it's clearly for shock value because pussy is a nicer word for it. I know that, well, across the pond people get a bit more pearl clutchy about that word, whereas here it's kind of interchangeable with a lot of things. They have sex and she orgasms instantly, and they keep doing it, and then she finishes again. She has like 3 in 20 minutes. My muscles are burning, my head is spinning, but I don't break pace because if I die now, this is how I want to go out. If you died right now, you would crush her and she would be unable to lift all of your like 6'5", 250 pounds from just eating like bacon all the time, dead weight, and she would starve to death under your corpse. So anyway, they do it, the end. Later, he's like to himself, we can't let this become normal, blah, 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 and preemptively feels bad about giving in and banging his son's ex. I mean, how wrong is what we're doing? She's single. I'm single. We're both adults. Yeah, there's the age difference, but it's not unheard of. And I liked her before I knew who she was. No one else was a factor in that. We're not trying to hurt anyone. We've known each other less than a month, but I feel like she's always been there. Like I was saving that side of the bed just for her. The age difference doesn't really matter because he's clearly still a teenager mentally himself. Anyway, forget all of that. He then has sex with her again. I leave, closing the door behind me and closing her bedroom door too, just in case Cole comes home, sees her empty bed and starts to wonder where she is. Jogging down the stairs, I feel an urge to smile even as the guilt knocks my stomach. I almost feel normal, but luckier than any guy I know. The girl of my dreams is in my bed right now. The girl of my dreams is insane. She's 19. Then his ex, Lindsay, Cole's mum, shows up his front door demanding to know why Cole isn't living there anymore, and immediately susses out that Pike and Jordan are banging. They argue, she slaps him, he accuses her of taking Cole's paychecks. No, he drinks them away. She walks out and I remain still. Everything I felt in my bedroom minutes ago is completely gone. Cole is spiraling like he needs me now more than ever. And Lindsay knows about Jordan. She may not know anything for sure, but her suspicions will be enough. She'll tear Jordan apart. There's no way I'm putting her through that. I just wish I could have had her for more than 7 hours. Bro literally only cares about getting his pee-pee wet. Chapter 19, Jordan. Pike is late and Jordan is getting mad about it because they arranged a date, after banging all night. She rings, no answer. Rings Dutch, and he says Pike went for a beer with the boys when he promised he'd be home at 5 to plow Jordan. And meanwhile, she's set up a date for him. She's gotten their favorite pizza. She's put on a movie that they wanted to see. So she gets even madder and decides to do the wet t-shirt contest. Chapter 20, Pike. I pull into my driveway a little after 9 and look up at the house. She won't be asleep yet, and I'm in no better condition to deal with her now than I was 4 hours ago when work ended, but I can't put it off anymore. We need to talk. Stellar communication skills from the adult here, but am I also supposed to believe he only had 1 beer in those 4 hours? Bro, it's definitely drink driving. You know that PD doesn't believe in men drinking non-alcoholic beer. Anyway, Jordan isn't home, so he calls her and she fobs him off, but then he overhears the DJ say something about the wet t-shirt night. God damn it. What the hell am I supposed to do? Is she out having fun like she said? Or is she checkmating me? Is she trying to entice me to come get her by threatening to do something I won't like? Or do I stay right where I am, call her bluff and see what happens? This is why women and I don't get along and my relationships don't last. I don't have the head for this bullshit. You played games by ignoring your plans with her for hours, expecting her to sit at home, being sad, waiting around for you. Then Cole appears, saying he has a new job and he wants to get his first tattoo with his dad next week. After that, Pike goes to the strip club to find Jordan. I run my hand through my hair, feeling the gel I put in it, remembering how I got cleaned up for her. I even changed my clothes. Wow. I take it back. When's the wedding? The wet t-shirt contest starts and Jordan comes out, except she's telling her sister no and gets water dumped on her anyway, and she runs off embarrassed. She wore that. She purposely put it on, which means she was considering going up there. I raise my eyes from her body and stare at her, taking a step forward. Mine. And then he kisses her in front of everyone at the strip club, but Jordan still storms off to her sister's car, not wanting to hear it. I drop my voice to barely whisper. I can't lose him, I tell her. She stills and all I can hear is her breathing. Did she have any regrets when she woke up this morning? She finally turns and looks up at me, nodding calmly. I know, she says softly, so you have to lose me. I get it. I don't want to hurt him either. Cole ain't shit though. Then he says he's falling for her. I knew you were out there somewhere, I tell her, quirking a sad smile. The girlfriends, women I dated, Cole's mother. I never wanted to marry anyone because they weren't what I was looking for. Jordan wasn't even alive when Pike was dating Cole's mother. I needed some time to think tonight, I explain. Sorry I stood you up. And what did you figure out? She drops her eyes, pulling at my heart. With all your thinking. I don't hesitate because I know I can't stop. That I can put off feeling guilty until tomorrow. So he kisses her again and then starts groping her in the parking lot. Then they get interrupted by a cop friend of Pike's and nothing happens. I'm doing things I wouldn't normally do just to please her. But she's also making me feel things I haven't felt in a long time. Some of them never. I actually found myself entertaining a list in my head today of all the things I want to do with her. Take her to baseball games and on road trips. And I actually sifted through eBay today for 80s cassette tapes I thought I could surprise her with. Like I'll still be around for the holidays and her birthday next year, for crying out loud. Makes total sense why he's single / bad with women if this is the first time he's ever considered doing nice things for a girl he's interested in. Then they argue about her not working at the strip club, which obviously ain't happening because Jordan doesn't have the balls for it, but they argue anyway. 7 minutes later, though, I pull into the driveway and she hops out before I've even killed the engine. Jordan, I call, swinging my door open. What the hell? We're not fighting again, are we? Hey, you're the one who chose to date a teenager. Then he gets paranoid about the neighbours talking about them. Then Jordan goes inside and video calls him and she strips and dances for him over video call when they are in the same house. Like, she humps a table and he's like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And it goes on for pages. And then he's at her door demanding her to unlock it, but she goes, nope, bye, go to bed. What would she do if I broke down the door right now? I let my forehead fall into the door and I'm about to throw out my man card and cry. This is truly thrilling stuff. She tells him to go to bed and not jerk off, and he actually does go to bed, whipped. Chapter 21, Jordan. Then, when he tried to get into the room, I wanted him so badly. His hands, his mouth, his words. But I always forgive too easily, and I don't want to be that girl anymore. Even if Pike is one of the good ones. One of the good ones. Derogatively. So the next day, Dutch rings her and is like, Pike is in a really bad mood today and keeps having a tantrum. Sorry? How is this appropriate that his work colleague has called a 19-year-old to tattle on Pike's behaviour? That is such weird writing, Penelope. Pike gets home wanting sex, gets interrupted by a neighbour yapping to him and trying to get Jordan to come over immediately to do babysitting. I think this is meant to be like a comedic bit. She has class in the morning, he quickly explains. Yes, I have class on a Sunday. And chores to do around the house, he adds, casting me a stern look, that she's been bad about not taking care of. Yes, Mrs. Taft. After I do the dishes, I have to do Mr. Lawson. So anyway, they shoo the neighbour away and they get inside to bang. Oh, baby, I'm dirty, he says, still devouring my lips. I should take a shower. I just know that he reeks. Anyway, he plays around with her boobs and she immediately finishes just from that. You're kidding me. Then they bang on the kitchen table. Then Cam comes in, almost catches them, but it's also obvious what they've been doing. Why doesn't anyone lock their front doors? She looks at me with love, rubbing my arm. I'm happy for you. It's mind-blowing, isn't it? Screwing someone who's actually good at it. Yes, not that Cole was bad per se, it's just different with Pike, not her comparing Cole to his dad sexually. It's like that one episode of Friends where Monica dates Richard's son, but like scratch that, reverse it. The sister immediately crashes Jordan's fun by saying don't get pregnant because it's probably all just a bit of fun for Pike and he doesn't even really like you. Chapter 22, Jordan. Dutch is around helping Pike fix Jordan's car, so Jordan and Pike have sex in the shower. His tongue flicks my top lip. This is the second time I noticed this phrase used and I hate it. They also get interrupted by Dutch. There's a pause and then Dutch speaks up again. So, where did Jordan go? I didn't see her down there. How am I supposed to know? Pike fires back, losing patience. Would you get out of here? Okay, fine, he says. But then he adds, just tell her not to forget to pick up all her clothes off the floor when she gets out of the shower with you, okay? These two are terrible at being surreptitious. Later, Jordan is asleep in her room and gets woken up by Pike carrying her to his room so they can sleep together, sort of like the reverse of when you'd fall asleep in the car as a kid and your dad would pick you up and put you to your bed. They also want coal to know, so I guess they are a proper thing now. I think you're scared because people have worked hard to make you think that you're not worthy of their attention, Jordan, he says. Your parents, that ex of yours from high school, even Cole, you gave people a chance and they abused it. That's their fault, not yours. He tips my chin up so my eyes meet his. Don't think it has anything to do with who you are and don't let anyone make you afraid of yourself. You're incredible. We've seen nothing to suggest that she actually is incredible. The only other person who talks me up like this is my sister, but Pike is better because I can kiss him too. I don't know, bro. I think your sister would be up for a bit of snogging. When I first saw you, I felt like I'd been punched, he whispers. You have a body that makes me feel like I'm on a roller coaster when I touch it. I smile and slide off my panties before swinging a leg over him, straddling him and sitting up. He exhales, gripping my hips. But really, it wasn't until the build-up of every little thing you do, bringing me lunch, serving me my ass in that supply room at the bar both times, and even telling me to get that backsplash and making me laugh with your innuendo about how I'm like a cave. He laughs. You make my heart pound so hard it hurts, Jordan. You, your mouth, and who you are. It all makes me want to touch you. It makes me not want to stop this. That's so embarrassing for him. I swing my leg back over, turn around, and climb on top of him again, this time. Reverse cowgirl, my, feeling adventurous, are we? Someone's been reading the Kama Sutra. How many women have you slept with? I ask him. How many men have you slept with? He shoots back. No, never mind. Don't answer that. I grin, answering him anyway. Before you? 2. More than 2, he retorts with his answer. What? She wasn't a virgin before meeting Pike, the whore. Not in my Penelope Douglas novel. Jordan realizes she loves him just because he says he doesn't think about the other women. Pathetic. Then Cole rings and breaks it up with some big problem. Chapter 23, Pike. Cole and his mother have come to stay with Pike because they are replacing some windows at her apartment. They literally could just stay in a hotel. There was a throwaway line about being guilt-tripped into letting them stay, but it's quite contrived. I look at Lindsay. Her thick red lipstick matching the red lace bra peeking out of her black silk top, and for about 5 minutes 20 years ago I thought she was hot and confident. Now it's not attractive at all because I know what's inside. Nice. I clear my throat. Well, unless you want to share a room with Cole, I tell Lindsay, there's nowhere else except the basement. What about the spare room? She shoots back. That's Jordan's room. Jordan shouldn't even be living here, she says, almost a hiss. Then she turns to Jordan. Can you please share a room with my son for a couple nights so I can have the spare room? It's not a spare room anymore, I bite out, my heart suddenly thumping. It's her room. There's no way. This is ridiculous, Lindsay glares at me. I'm the mother of your son and I need a room. She glances at Jordan again. You've spent plenty of time in a bed with Cole. Another night or 2 won't kill you, right? I move forward, planting my hips on the island. She's not sleeping with Cole. They're not together anymore. It's unfair. It's a bed, Cole finally speaks up, sighing. It's just sleeping. We can handle it. This is too unreasonably cartoonish for me. Like, who would act like this? What mother would, hate this girl, hate Jordan, but also be like, yeah, sleep in the same bed as my darling son? Do you know what I mean? It's just stupid. Then Pike gets jealous of his own son rather than worry about how Jordan feels about being forced back into a room and bed with him. I want her and Cole to reconcile and be friends again eventually, but I don't want them together, alone, all night. They were a couple, damn it. He knows her body as well as I do. That's all he cares about. What if they start feeling what they felt when they first got together and everything was good? What if she starts thinking she needs someone younger? They have history. I'm not going to be jealous of my son. We're not competing, but he's known her a hell of a lot longer. What if they talk and reconnect? Pike tells Jordan to sleep on the couch, but Jordan is like, I can sleep in the same bed as Cole. This is a fling. A dirty, sordid fling, right? At least that's what everyone will think. And it would break Cole's heart. I'm sure he expects her to move on at some point. He hasn't been too concerned with her since he left after all. But knowing I swept in, played with one of his toys... One of his what? He's in bed and Lindsay sneaks in, trying to seduce him so she can move in with him and have his house. He tells her to get out. I charge, down the hallway, slowing when I pass Cole's door and so tempted to push it open. That's mine in there. What kind of man puts his woman in that situation? What kind of man doesn't own up and take what's his? Bah! Anyway, crisis averted because Jordan is outside in the pool anyway and he ogles her boobs. Jordan is pissed that Pike won't man up and tell everyone the truth. She's like, if you want to be with me, everyone will know sooner or later because you should be taking me out on dates instead of keeping me cooped up in the house. What if this ends in 2 weeks and I've destroyed what relationship I do have with my kid because I couldn't keep my bits in my pants? I tell her, I should have just kept my hands off of you. Why couldn't I resist? Oh, well, actions meet consequences. So Jordan says, yeah, okay, you're right. I'm not worth it. It's fine. But it is what I meant, isn't it? If I can't tell him now, was I ever planning to? When would be easier? After they've been broken up a couple of years? I mean, it has only been like 2 weeks. She keeps trying to walk off from him and he keeps stopping her, so she gives him an ultimatum. Tell Cole now or tough. He doesn't do anything and she's like, wow, I feel nothing for you now. Based. Chapter 24, Jordan. So she goes to stay at her sister's and is avoiding Pike and gets sent home from work for looking exhausted from all the drama. She decides to drop by Pike's house to pick up more things. Honestly, her life just revolves around him, leaving, coming back, boring. Anyway, Cole is having a party and Jay is hiding in Jordan's room, or he's just there, whatever. And he offers her to get back at Cole by having sex with him. So she calls him a bad shag, freshens him with scissors and tells him to get out, and it works. She then bumps into Pike, of course. He wants me, but he's a coward. This had to end, right? He chokes out, speaking only loud enough for me to hear. In 10 years, I'll be nearly 50. I'm not going to saddle you with that. This was going to end. You know it always was. Not wrong, is he? I mean, if, a world war doesn't break out, technology is getting really good at keeping people alive, if you're rich. But he does insist on clogging his arteries, so, 50, he might as well be dead. So she... That was a joke. So she calls him a waste of time, and then Jay pops up out of nowhere, having overheard the entire conversation. Then Jay and Pike start scrapping, and they crash into the garden, fighting in front of everyone. And Cole appears, and Jay starts yelling in front of everyone about Jordan and Pike, and then Cole beats up Jay. Then Cole realizes what's going on and storms off, and Jordan leaves too. At some point, she texts Cole saying she's sorry and didn't bang his dad out of revenge. Cole replies, do you love him? So she turns her phone off me when people talk to me. Also, she's decided she's leaving town. Jordan Hadley doesn't leave her job. She doesn't jump into a rundown, unreliable vehicle and hit the road with nowhere to go. And she's certainly too afraid to ever be alone. Well, it is a terrible idea. Her boss gives her a bunch of extra cash and advice. We don't need food to survive this life as much as we need our hearts broken at least once. But the best part is, the first break is always the worst. It will never be this bad again. And for that, I'm glad. But it also makes me wonder, if my heart will never break this badly again, then will I love anyone like I loved Pike Lawson? Why are these books all written by people who clearly haven't gotten over their first relationships? Do you know when some people just idolize, I find that concept very weird when some people idolize their first love as well. Oh my God, you'll never forget your first love and blah, blah. It's are you, unless you have short-term memory loss or long-term memory loss, are you really going to forget anyone that you've dated non-superficially for a period of time? But also it's just it's weird and idealized, and then some people end up putting it on a pedestal, take their current partner for granted to try and go back to their first loves, and it always goes tits up. When people are oh, but it's a special kind of love. God, I fundamentally disagree. The relationships you have as a teenager, they seem like a big deal at the time because you're a teenager. But then, you move on, you grow up, you learn who you really are as a person. I never think back to my first relationship or my first two relationships in a wistful way. Never. Why would I care? It was 1 billion years ago. I was a different person. It's not even real. Anyway, chapter 25, Pike. He goes to find Cole to apologise face-to-face, man-to-man. Lindsay opens the door, still in her pencil skirt from her office job but barefoot and her shirt untucked. Oh God, he's going to try and bang her, isn't he? She sees me and crosses her arms over her chest, pinning me with a smug look. I want to talk to him, I tell her. You've done enough, she sneers, pulling out her tight ponytail. Jesus, I thought I was the bad parent. What were you thinking? Taking his leftovers like there isn't any other woman in this town you can pound? Not quite wrong though, is she? She's no different than you thought I was. She used you, Pike. Used you for a place to live and utilities. And, oh, what else did you do for her? Fix her car too? She shakes her head, smiling bitterly. She lucked out with you, and all she had to do was open her legs. Christ, you men really are dense when it comes to a pretty face. Then she's like, oh my God, you're in love with her, and almost laughs in his face. I kind of love this crazy woman, to be her best character. Anyway, Cole is gone because he's joining the Navy. Yeah, they really just dropped that in. He won't be back for 2 months because he's doing his training. Cool. I stand there outside her door, the rain pouring around me with the past several days running through my head as I try to connect any clues Cole left about his plans, quitting his job, telling me all the perks of his new one. He wanted a tattoo. This secret new job was a big deal. Ha! Screwed it now, ain't ya? So now Cole is completely out of reach for his MEP training. All Pike can do is leave a sad voicemail saying, I tried not to fall for your ex. He also notices that Jordan is missing. I'll hate myself forever if I ruined her. My beautiful, happy, sexy girl who kills me with her smiles and jokes. Don't flatter yourself. If this was a real story, you would be nothing more than a regretful footnote in this girl's dating history. She'd be in her 30s, recalling the time she had sex with a weird older dude, and she'd be happy she got over the silly feelings. I remember being 21 and dating guys in like their late 30s, sometimes even early 40s, and being like, oh my God, I'm like, so mature and blah, blah, blah. And they must just see the maturity in me. And now that I'm older, I'm like, oh my God, it's so gross. I don't look back at that wistful, fondly. I look back at that and go, oh, can't believe I let anyone near me. The picture of her beautiful body performing for only me hits me, and I'm almost sick with how stupid I am and for what I lost. That's really why he's upset. So he storms into the strip club to Cam and demands to know where Jordan is, and even throws down $100 for 5 minutes of her time to talk to her, and Cam kicks him in the balls. She tells him to stay away from her and pockets the $100. She went up in my estimation just for doing that. A week later, and Jordan is still ignoring him, and he sent a letter to Cole via Cole's recruiter. Dutch is all, bro, you can't marry her anyway. I shake my head, arguing, she's different. No, she's not, Dutch retorts. She's young and full of hope, like we used to be. Young, dumb, and full of... I turn slowly and look at him. It's not like him to stand against me, but I listen as he goes on. Everything is new and fresh to her, he says. She's excited about life, and she makes you remember what that felt like. Before we grew up and realised we weren't going to be fighter pilots saving the world or kings of Wall Street riding around in stretch limos, he laughs under his breath, sitting back in the chair. Before there were bills to pay and responsibilities piling higher as the years went on. What? Someone talking sense? Delete this immediately. Look, man, he raises his eyes to me. You had fun with her. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. If the sex is good, then enjoy each other. But you have to think about the future. You know it won't always feel like this. He pauses, knitting his brow. She'll wake up in 10 years and see a picture of a high school friend online who's trekking through Nepal or some shit. And she'll look around at her own life and think about how she's saddled with 2 kids in this small town and married to a man nearly 50 years old whose life is more than halfway over. Hilarious and based. So Pike is like, yeah, facts, man, and decides to get over it. Chapter 25, Pike, 2 months later. 2 whole months. His life is basically over at his age. He's been trying to keep busy, and then his neighbour starts yapping about how he saw Jordan and Pike banging one time on the kitchen sink. I'm just saying, I think it's the first time I ever saw you smile. She certainly seems like she made you happy. I can't imagine she wouldn't make any man happy, actually. Shut the hell up, I mumble, bending down and picking up tools, dropping them into a small box. Really? How could we have been so careless? If he's the last person whose eyes I wanted on her. So, where'd she go? He asks. It didn't work out with you two. I ignore him, gathering my shit so I can escape inside. How'd you screw that up, man? He laughs out, taking a swig of his beer. You get a woman like that, young and hot with a body in that good a shape, you don't lose it. Ugh. You definitely are sad, he says. Women aren't that hard to make happy if you have half a mind to. That's true. It's not complicated. So he winds up Pike and wanders off, and Pike second guesses himself and keeps saying he can't build a family for her at his ripe old age of 38. Not 39. But hey, look at Al Pacino. Then Cole appears. Military life has been good for him. He brings up Jordan. He's not mad at Pike anymore because it's been 2 months. How convenient. Wouldn't want to actually do some character development and work now, would we? Anyway, he says he knows Pike loves him and has done so much for him throughout his life, so he forgives him. And then they get tattoos. He chose an anchor in the middle of his back, accompanied by a compass and a fisherman's knot with the motto forged by the sea around it. It's all just outlined though. He said he'll get it coloured after he's earned it. Whilst Pike gets a tattoo of a candle because of how Jordan likes blowing out candles and making wishes. Then he fantasizes about Jordan being with him and being pregnant. She's 19. leave off. I've seen lots of bad love, Pike, she says. We both have, haven't we? And then she does the barest of grinds on me, awakening my body immediately. This is the good kind. When you find it, you keep it. Nothing is more important. Plenty of things are more important, like the singularity and the birth of genuine AI sentience in 10 years' time. Get bent, you boring losers. He wakes up from his weirdo dream and sits in Jordan's old room and sulks. Looking over, I spot a jar sitting on her bedside table, the label on the front reading dreams. I reach over and take it, studying the few dozen little scrolls of paper, all different colours and tied with gold string piled inside. I swear this is the first we've heard of this, her doing this. So he starts reading through them, and a lot of them are like quite, basic bitch, but some of them are about Pike. Install a clothesline in the backyard of my future house. No one has those anymore. I blink. I just installed a clothesline. She has that now. Clearly you're meant to be. Learn how to make chili. Do they not have Google in this small town? Then he's like, oh no, I could give her all of these dreams in this jar. What did I think? She wanted wealth, power, and fame? Be a lot cooler if she did. Then he cries over this. Chapter 27, Pike. Jordan could be doing a road trip right now. We know she ain't though, but we just have to listen to Pike whining. Pike goes to Shell, Jordan's old boss, to get info on Jordan, but she refuses to budge. I don't want to bother Jordan. She stayed away and I haven't heard from her. So that tells me I think I did the right thing. She's doing fine and she'll be happier. But I'm not. This isn't over for me. You need your heart to get out of bed, walk, talk, work and eat. And she took it when she left. I wasn't much before she came along, but what I did have inside me she left with. I'm miserable. All I'm hearing is me, me, me. So he says, tell Jordan I love her, and Cam gives in and says she's probably at a motel in East Virginia, but Cam won't tell him which. I need to at least see her one last time and tell her that I love her and that she's everything and that I'm dead without her. Calm down, mate. Chapter 28, Jordan. All she's done all summer is play a card game on her phone. She's working at the motel her friend from summer camp, what friend, owns. Some dude turns up. He steps out to the counter and my smile falters, seeing the huge wing tattooed on his neck with the words, "The devil doesn't sleep," etched in black ink. Is this like a love interest for like the next book? Then there's some shit about her friends liking 90s music whilst Jordan likes 80s music, and wow, how interesting. Also, the guy gave the fake name Tyler Durden. Also, how interesting. Anyway, she's still not over Pike, obviously, but she plans to go home soon because of school. Then Pike shows up and Jordan is all, I won't let him tell me what to do. So Pike gives a big old speech about how his life changed because of her and he thought he was doing the right thing and that he's in love with her and needs her. And she's like, I hate him, I love him. And they make up and Danny, her friend, gives them a room on the house. Up the sidewalk, one of the regulars, Peter, walks up to the Coke machine with a sword strapped to his naked back and wearing his usual black leather pants. What the hell is that? Pike mumbles to me, looking at him. That's Peter, I say, admiring the black hair that drapes down his waist. He's here every weekend, LARPing. Pike pinches his brows together and looks at me. Live action role playing, I explain. Sometimes he brings a beautiful elvish princess and they get kinky. You can hear it through the walls. I wish I could read that story instead. Chapter 29, Jordan, 1 year later. 1 whole year later and she still can't legally drink. That is jokes. They are mudding in her new 4-wheeler. Finals, whatever that is over. Life is good. Cole is cool with them. It's her birthday. Slowly reaching out, I take the box out of his hand and open it, my mouth going dry as a desert when I see the diamond ring inside. Tears sting my eyes and my mouth falls open. It's a rose, like the ones on the birthday cake he got me last year and the flowers I planted around the house this spring. A large diamond sits in the middle of the platinum pearls, adorned with little stones themselves, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen. Beautiful and special and completely me. Doesn't have a tattoo though, does it? So she gets engaged before she can legally drink. I am cracking up. Doesn't sound like it though. If they got married tomorrow, she wouldn't be able to have a toast at her own wedding. Can we do it today? I ask, taking my brand new unused helmet off my seat and setting it on the floor. Get married? He asks. You really don't care about the wedding, do you? Guys, I was kidding. I stand in the open door and shrug. It never occurred to me growing up to care about a party and fancy clothes. When other young women dreamed up their themed colours and bridesmaid dresses, I just wanted everything after that. The husband, the kids, the home with the smell of cookies after school, picnics and road trips. She legitimately has done nothing yet with her life and already wants to be saddled with kids. Good luck making any use out of your landscaping degree when you have to stay at home and look after 5 under 5, because we know what PD men are like. Anyway, he's like, I've never been married either, so I do want a wedding in Mexico. Sounds right up our alley. Quiet, private, and perfect. And I'd be lying if I didn't say it excited me to go somewhere I've never been. I've barely been out of this town, and the idea of having to get a passport thrills me as much as now having to shop for this dress Pike is going to die when he sees me in. Is this a horror story? Like, excited about the notion of getting a passport? Because she's never bothered, like, going to it. Do you know what I mean? I know she's not been able to. I know she's not been able to because of, like, her economic circumstances. I'm not, like, being judgmental of that. It's just very telling. Like, so many of the PD characters are like this, you know what I mean? Or even if, like, they do visit other countries, they know. Like, remember in Bully, Tate, like, stayed in France for a year and we heard nothing of it. Nothing about how it changed her as a person. Nothing about, like, maybe the cultural differences. Nothing at all. Anyway, they also agree on having one kid after she gets her degree, but not before she actually does anything with it. She's going to be her ex-boyfriend's stepmom. So their baby would be Cole's half-sibling. Imagine being that baby and being related to Cole, like that's your brother, and then hearing that your biological mother, because small town, who'd inevitably find out, hearing that your biological mother once had sex with your biological brother, that is so bizarre. Whatever the birthday girl wants, he whispers. Ugh. Epilogue. Pike, 9 years later. They're going to have 9 kids by now. Jordan and I are out of here in the morning and he's in charge while I'm gone. I promised her she and the boys would have my complete attention while we're away as long as she leaves her laptop at home and doesn't try to sneak any work in either. The problem with her is that her work is also her hobby. So I felt kind of bad asking her to stay away from something she loves for that long. Is it a job or is it a side hustle hobby? No, and Penelope, I don't reckon it's a proper job. Anyway, they have 1 kid and she's pregnant with her second. The first one is 6, so that means she had him at the age of 23. At first I miscalculated and thought that she was 26 for her first and was pleasantly surprised, and now I'm just annoyed all over again. 23. There goes the 20s. Cole had a kid too. My chest tightens every time I see them like this though. My son and my grandson are more like brothers, and I really don't give a shit if it seems weird to others because we're a lucky family. Cole met his wife Kotori when he was stationed in Okinawa, both of them currently attending whatever. I wonder if Kotori knows that her husband used to sleep with her mother-in-law. Like, fuck off. Who would be okay with that? I wouldn't be okay with that. No, like, no way. No way. Stepmother-in-law? Is it a stepmother-in-law? Or is it still a mother-in-law? Is it a stepmother-in-law? Regardless. Husband used to... Who would be okay with that? Anyway, they're going on a road trip. We probably have more than enough packed for the road trip north, but my luck, we'll get to the lake house and she'll be pissed off for 2 weeks because she doesn't have her other pink shirt that goes better with the sneakers she got that time on that one trip. Jordan has not said anything of the sort in this book before. That's just him being sexist. She's never cared one iota about her clothes. Her body that I've loved for 10 years and in a million different ways. You'd think I'd be used to it by now, but my pee-pee starts to stiffen at just the thought of her on top of me again. How romantic. She's giving a presentation at the opening of the botanical gardens she designed for the new museum in Rockford tomorrow. After college, she worked for a firm for several years, but decided to start her own last year. Yeah, right. No, she didn't. Penelope, you literally cannot win with me. I am like water. I will always adapt and always bitch about anything. Always. Even if it's hypocritical. After the presentation, we're driving up to Minnesota, where we rented a lake house for 2 weeks. Her sister Cam, and the latest in a string of wealthy boyfriends. Who is the boyfriend dating Cam? Barney Stinson? Anyway, what's her face blows out a candle, makes a wish, and is happy with her life. Well, that makes one of us. The end. Acknowledgements. To my family, my husband and daughter put up my crazy schedule, my candy wrappers, and my spacing off every time I think of a conversation, plot twist, or scene that just jumped into my head at the dinner table. I love the idea that Penelope is jumping up from the dinner table to leave their family, to rush off, to plot out another pseudo-incestuous scene in one of their many pseudo-incestuous books. To Tabitha Vargo and Kamal Kant, who were the authors to... What a great last name. Like my main man... Strict Daddy Emmanuel, who were the authors to message me after the first release to tell me how much they loved Bully. I'll never forget. I don't know who these two are, but I know now that I don't need to ever read any of their books. Write and create. Don't ever stop. Your voice is important, and as long as it comes from your heart, it is right and it is good. This is the exact same thing Penelope said at the end of Credence. The end. So what did you guys think of that one? Let me know in the comment section below, please. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Incogni for sponsoring today's video. Remember to go to incogni.com/Alizee, ALIZE, for 60% off of annual plan. I'm tapped out. I can't do any more of these this month. I'm so tired of them all being exactly the same. Make sure that you follow me on all my other socials. Make sure that you check out my Sleeps ASMR channel. Hopefully the video will be out ASAP. It's all ready to go. I'm just waiting on thumbnails. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. And I will see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.